What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Relaxing Thoughts Podcast. I'm your host, this is Tube Relaxation, and we are back again for another episode. And as always, if you guys enjoy what you hear and what you're going to hear, please be sure to share and rate this podcast. You can rate it 5 stars on Apple and Spotify. So today, we do have a guest with us. If my guest would like to introduce himself.
What's up? My name is Blaq Moriarty, host of Mutantness. You can find me on TikTok and all that things like that. I am an influencer, a creator, an artist, an open thinker, a mystic, and a self-proclaimed occultist. I don't even know what that means.
Just making stuff up for yourself. That's it.
That's what magicians do.
All right. So before we get into anything, what are you just currently into right now? Like what you been dabbling into?
Man, I am currently getting back in touch with my nerd roots. So, like, comic books are now coming back to the influx to me. Video games are now raising their awareness towards my direction. Me and my lady are like playing board games. I haven't played board games in a while, so that's in my realm now. And through technology like blockchain and all the things it has to offer, man, I'm across the board. I'm a Gemini. But all those things I just mentioned, they're just like coming back in waves. Even film. I thought films were like just going to die. Like I wasn't gonna have to be happy seeing them anymore. But here I am, just happy as a clam the films being made and just people are discovering new ways to make films.
Yeah. One thing about me is like it's hard for me to get into watching new films because I find it that they stick with me less than like films I grew up with, and obviously probably because of nostalgia or whatever. But one thing I do enjoy doing is going back and watching older films and rewatching it now with an older mindset and catching things that I didn't catch before. I was mentioning my last episode that I recently watched the Rush Hour trilogy, and I realized that there was actually almost a weird timeline that no one don't really talk about. That
what?
So from listening to the dialogue, the movie, I've kind of figured it out while I was recording it, but I was like, it's not making sense because according to the dialogue, all 3 of these movies happened within a year, and I'm like,
what?
But the third movie kind of messes that up because the little girl from the first one is obviously older in the third one. So,
both in the film or just as an actress?
I believe it's the same actress. I'm not sure, but okay. She comes back as an older. Well, she's like, I would say the oldest, maybe 19 in the film.
Okay,
but I was like, because the way they kept on doing the dialogue. So I managed to come up with Rush Hour 1 and Rush Hour 2 takes place 2 weeks within each other. And then Rush Hour 3 probably happens like 6 years after. Then I was like, all right, that kind of makes sense now that she's older. But still, it was like, I was like, because they would cut the way they were saying dialogue. Chris was always saying, because he mentioned something that happened 6 months ago. I'm like, is that 6 months ago from that film or 6 months ago just randomly?
Oh, so you was pretty much like, yo, I get you. Yeah. That would be confusing.
I was like, this whole entire trilogy is less than a year. I'm like, what?
What's happening?
They're still in 1998. I'm like, what?
Start making up like, yo, they time traveling, bro. They're more than just cops, man. They're like time cops.
Basically.
Jeez. I mean, now, yeah, that actually bring up a good point. If you listen to dialogue, you start like going back on films that you watch and then watching back as an older person, the dialogue on some films won't match or may not sync up or something may not add up.
Yeah.
And that will throw you off. So maybe that's what it's like to like make up new theories about film. Maybe that's where the the hidden thing lies in dialogue. That's where all these people with all these theories lie.
Yeah.
They lie in they hearing something. You heard dialogue. You're like,
yeah.
wait a minute, what?
Yeah, I be wondering how people be catching certain things, especially like with Marvel. Like, be catching all the hints and stuff. I'm like, I'll just be watching them with my brain off. I'm like, how y'all be catching all of this,
Bro? They be like, yo, did you see that? What happened with that in the third act?
That tiny little news clipping right there. That mentioned Wolverine. I'm like, what?
No, man, I was like hyped. I was yelling. I was not just a robot. I mean, there was some, like, what was it in Doctor Strange, the second one, Multiverse? We were watching it, and I think I blinked, or my girl said something in my ear, but then later on, my friend was like, "Did you see? I see what? Did you see the Living Tribunal?" Where? Like when it was going through time,
Yeah,
and stuff like,
of course, that's where all the Easter eggs are. Oh, hey, bro. I'm just
Like,
sitting there looking with my
blinked.
eyes open. I'm like, hold on, what am I looking at here?
right? You can't blink it, sir. Like, did you know there's not necessarily a rule, but in TikTok there's a rule. I'm gonna just say that, call that what it is. That it's a marketing rule. Like, if your video doesn't catch your attention in 1 second, it's like scroll. Like, that's crazy. That's a crazy thought. So that's how films are. It's like you gotta watch that film and not blink. That's your 1 second. Going there with like eye drops. I'm ready to watch this film, man.
That's it.
Speaking of films,
Oh.
what do you think? We're going back, because now let's talk about this is talk about going back and looking at films. Demolition Man.
Sure.
So I'm watching it. I'm thinking about that film, and I'm like, I read this article about how people are the millennials, probably your cast, your group. I'm not sure. But most of the millennials are. What the article said that they looked at a movie. You know, they were watching Seinfeld. They were watching Seinfeld, and they're offended. They're offended because Seinfeld is what it was. And I'm thinking to myself, like, man, we are on the Demolition Man timeline. Because if you think about it, what could you do in Demolition Man? Like, you couldn't swear.
Oh yeah.
If you swear, you got fined, and like, because for some reason, most likely because swearing offended a mass majority, so a vote most likely got installed in which if you cuss, then you're gonna get fined. We can't stop human impulsions for cussing, but if you cuss, you're gonna be fined. That's gonna stop you, hopefully, from doing that in the future. So I'm like looking at that, like I'm looking at the article, I'm like, man, if more and more articles and more, which is happening now, more and more things, people getting offended by just really, really things of people just trying to make people laugh, whatever. That's not offensive. That's not trying to really hurt people. Just trying to make people just, hey, look at this. What's the amount of things like that that's gonna make that vote come into play like a Demolition Man? We're already having the VR headsets.
Oh god.
We're already having the VR headsets. When he went to go have, he thought he was gonna have sex with her.
Yeah.
He thought he was gonna have sex with her and everything.
It was over.
And he was like, oh, what are you talking about? Oh, put this on. That was, Sandra Bullock's character. It wasn't that because that's how they have sex now. That's actually, she was just a super freak. I'm willing to bet she didn't even have to do VR. She just wanted to try some really weird shit.
Oh no.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's weird. But well, because I mean, I don't know if you in tune with what's going on with Kanye. That's kind of being in line with that. Like he's going off about being censored and controlled by the media, and it's like, I guess we're going in that direction.
We're going. We are headed there.
Like
We're headed there.
They taking down his interviews. I heard that they like reducing how much they play his songs on the radio now, so they trying to like make him disappear.
The question is, will they succeed? I mean, because right now his fans are still 50-50.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like this half that's like, yeah, we know what he's saying. The other half like, man, he's just going crazy again. That's kind of so it's like, yeah, it's like he put himself in the. That's what because I made the point that it's like he has to be like this from day one. I feel like, but the problem with Kanye is that he makes good points, but he only like comes out when it affects him personally, and it's like. If this wasn't happening to him by himself, like he would not be saying none of this. So I feel like you gotta be always defending the community, not just when it's bothering you.
He's like, nah, only me. I mean, look, it's Kanye. The man posed. He made a picture of himself as Jesus. This man, I'll never forget that picture. Rolling Stones cover, like. Does Kanye? Does he have thorns? I'm not. It's not the religious. Like it didn't figure. It was just like, does he have thorns in his head? And it's like he's Jesus. Oh, Kanye. Kanye. Oh, you got that. Okay. And that was the route that he went to.
Yeah.
And that was like what 2002.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. I remember that one.
So he went in 2002. That was when the crazy began. From that Rolling Stone cover all the way up, that was just, oh, here we go. More Kanye being Kanye.
I remember I defended him hard on 808s and Heartbreak because that's when hip hop was in a weird point where it's like either you supported the change of people doing more harmonizing and auto tune, or people still like, nah, we want the old hip hop back. Hip hop is dead. And I was part of the like, I want the old hip hop, but I understood 808s and Heartbreak like from when it came out. So I was like arguing with like schoolmates like about like why it makes sense and why it's a good album. And then like here we are, like he basically influenced this generation from that album. Like what you're hearing now is from this. It's like, and like you like this now, that means like come on. Just
I didn't know he influenced a generation. That's good to know.
Yeah, I mean,
I only know
most of their style, like you hear it and you hear that album, it's like you can kind of see it.
That's good. That's good. Then he did his job.
Yeah,
he did his job on two fronts. He made art for himself and for the people, and then it was enough of it and of who he was to influence an entire different generation. So that's good.
Yeah,
and I know that. So on things like that. You gotta. That's why I said there's two fan bases. There's like
there's the people that just like his
and then
music,
the other one's like
they support him as a whole. Yeah.
Like what can you do?
It's
I mean,
tricky.
we don't really. I mean, honestly, you want to be honest, we don't really have that many artists like that on his level in that bracket. You know, that top tier bracket, whatever.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them on the other tiers. They're everywhere.
Yeah. So it's hard, but yeah, like I don't know, going with the media control, like are we gonna start? What are we allowed to say, and what group can be offended, what group can't be offended? Is basically like the point he's making. Like if he's saying things that's quote unquote anti-Semitic, and he's getting banned for that, but if he say things that goes against talking about black people, that's fine. And it's like, yeah, so that's like kind of the point he was making. Along with other stuff. We
still live in that fucked up world.
Yeah.
That's the problem. The way I look at it is, I don't think it will ever end. If I'm being honest with you. I don't think it probably will end, only because it's a chaos factor.
Yeah.
You know, racism and hate and all that stuff like that. And so, like, those things are happening to bring about change in something. Because the way I look at it like this, if everyone was to merge, like everyone was to procreate with their different ethnic groups, if that was to all happen for like 10 years straight, just purposely become a new species, a new breed, whatever, then they'll find something else to hate. it won't be like, just like, oh, you don't have brown enough skin.
We do that with black people out there. Yeah, the dark skin, light skin.
Yeah, it'll just be something. It'll always be something because people need something to challenge against.
Yeah.
So it's just a part of life.
And it's not not your look. It's you quote unquote act white when you're a black person because you're into certain things. It's like I can't even be black with black people because I like certain things.
Yeah. It's like, what are you talking about? I hated that as growing up, man. Why are you talking white? What the fuck you mean I'm not talking white?
Like, what?
What's that mean? Proper?
Normal?
Normal?
Like, oh no.
Oh, fuck.
Struggles.
Yeah, I'm glad your generation is getting more and more like aware of that. Like, no, we're supposed to be just who we are. Just speak normal. Speak how you want to speak.
Yeah.
There is no, hey man, you're speaking like them. Like who? Them over there. Are we at war with them? Are we at war with them?
I'm talking in code.
Like, if anything, should we know how they speak? Shit.
One thing what I might be noticing about, I guess, our generation or the millennials, I think is that there's a form of jealousy towards the Gen Z, that the stuff that we have to fight for to, like, being too white for the black people and vice versa is now basically the norm now for like an anime back when we was a kid. Like, that was a little struggle in its own when you're talking to the so-called the typical black people. And now it's like anime is like it's the normal thing to like, and we just in here like, bro, you don't know what we had to go through to like this.
You guys had to go through the struggle.
Yeah, I just over here having fun on TikTok, cosplaying.
I was just acting normal, living life. I don't like that. I don't like you guys going out wearing. Oh, you purposely going out looking like Vampire Hunter D? You're going out on purpose, and no one's gonna talk nothing to you. Yeah, hate that. I was like, F you. If I do that, I'm getting clowned.
It's struggles. So,
well, but that's just embracing fear.
Yeah.
And I'm really, really glad that we had to, and yourself too, parts of you guys, we had to like do that struggle, that we had to bridge that gap. Like, yo, we have to find a way for this younger generation to like our stuff, so it could be more love. Because put it in perspective. So when the MCU first got started, that's when a whole new realm of people was like, yo, this is a comic book? And you'd be like, yeah, I thought comic books were for kids. Well, yeah and no. But there's some dark stories in these comic books. And they're also intricate and everything. These are some writers who are adults, who were kids, who were crazy, grew up to become adults to write comic books out of their crazy minds that they had. They put that into comic books and anime. So yeah, the stuff that you're watching on film, that's that kind of. Read the books, and then they get to read the books, and they be like, holy crap, then they become comic book readers. So we had to go through that first. Your generation, your early generation of yours, and the early generation of mine, we had to like go to like do that preparation of getting the new people to get involved with it, because if not, it would still be what it was, just in this hidden corner of the world, Yeah, so I was out eating yesterday or the day before, and I was wearing my Wakanda, my Black Panther shirt, and this group of kids or teenagers or young adults, whatever, I'm not sure. Everybody's young to me now. They came up to me. He was like, "Yo," he started showing me his Black Panther stuff, and I was like, "Oh, Wakanda forever!" And we both did it. We embraced. I was like, and they were sitting over there. I'm sitting on my table. We started getting louder. Like, "Yo, it's like." They were talking about Batman's greatest villains. I was like, yo, oh, his greatest villains? He's like, oh, are you talking there? I can hear from here. Just keep yelling. Forget these people. And they were like, he was like, I think it's the Joker. Other dude was like, I think it's Bane. I was like, I mean, honestly, yeah, those are two great characters, but people always forget about the Riddler for some reason. I don't know why. Like, he's not like deadly in the sense of one-on-one combat, which I think one day he should. I mean, you can't keep a character just snoveling forever. But then again, I mean, they made the Joker just the Joker. He does all kind of crazy shit. But the Riddler is the one who figured out his identity rather, but then got punked by Batman. I don't know. I like how the Riddler always gets Batman trying to figure out things. Like, figure this out, Batman. But I don't know. Maybe he's my favorite character. But then it was like, yo, who's your favorite superhero? Like, Spider-Man, easily, by far. But if I have to pick my favorite character of all time, it's gonna be Doctor Doom, because Doctor Doom is just a man of magic and science, and he's pure willpower. So it's like, but some people call him evil. Like, he's not a bad guy. He's just a guy who's passionate about what he wants to do, and if you get in his way, he's gonna hurt you. So I'm like, hey, that's not a bad thing, is it? He's not hurt. I mean, even when he went to the Panther God on Doom War, and when he was like, and the Panther God like, yo, if you lie to him, if I smell deceit upon you, I'm going to, devour your soul, whatever he said. So he goes in there butt naked and everything. And he tells, in the Panther God, do you think you can be better in this world? Like, I think I can rule the world. I think I can bring about peace upon this world and everything. And the Panther God was like, I believe you believe that. And with that, you're granted access to the vault. I was like, bruh, imagine that. Like, imagine the guy going like, yo, you believe that you could save the world, like that's only you. Man,
it don't even matter what I think as a god.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm a god in front of you. You believe you're better than me. You know what, bro? Have at it. What do you say to that? So yeah, Dr. Doom, by far, favorite character.
Yes,
I hope he's in Wakanda forever. Or at least, I believe it's going to be a Black Swan that's going to make his appearance first. And that would be 10 times better, because not only will we get a Doom War-esque, but we will also get a first appearance and a first indicator of how Secret Wars is going to play out. I was like, oh, it's begun. It has begun. Tell you right now, people, that's going to happen. That's how it's going to happen right now. Oh, I'm hyped.
It's funny enough, because that's the one of the things I want to talk about was your MCU excitement, but I can see it.
I am hyped about Wakanda forever. Let that be known. What about you? Are you hyped?
That's what I wanted to talk about. I'm mixed, because I don't know. I felt like part of me feel like I'm kind of drained out, but the thing is also because I'm not comic book to the core. The funny thing about Marvel characters, like, I found out about like Marvel characters through everything but comics. So my first time learning about Marvel characters was Marvel vs. Capcom 2, which I was a fan of Street Fighter and all of that. So I was like, oh, who these superhero dudes? And yeah, as time went on, the movies, Spider-Man movies, the Hulk movies, and I'm like, all right. Then the MCU started kicking off. So like, I would like watch videos to like learn about certain stories. Like, Hulk is one of my favorites. I'll be watching like people summarize like the World War Hulk, playing the Hulk story. I'm like, oh, it's dope. I even seen the animated movie of it too. So I was like, all right. But I have not read a single comic personally, so for me to know everything and what to be excited for exactly, that's why I was like, at this point, it's like, I don't know. So, but
so what do you mean to like know like in the comic book sense, like with the information that you got, or to know in the MCU? What do you mean? I got lost.
Well, my thing is, I don't know how to explain this. Like, I feel like, for me, I feel like this jump is a little too fast from having 6 dudes or, well, 1 female in the Avengers, and only some of them have powers, some of them was just dope as stuff, to with She-Hulk, they introduced that they had to make a whole superhero law firm because there's a lot of superhero people, and I'm like, where did y'all come from?
I get what you're saying.
Where's these super people coming from?
Because I want to touch upon that because I know exactly. That's why I said, I don't know if you see me talk about it a lot on TikTok. I always say that, I was like, Phase 4 is all about the multiverse, and it's about them establishing all kinds of characters very quickly. And I'm glad you talked about how She-Hulk was like, they're just adding characters in here. Like, yeah, I believe that's probably because Marvel's going to go about it one or two ways. They're going to mention it somewhere along the way where the multiverse has been shattered or some way somehow, and so every superhero and stuff that's entered was because of the multiversal event. I'm willing to bet that's what they're going to say, or how they're going to like work around it. Because I said the same thing, like, man, there's a lot of characters just in the world now.
Yeah.
But you also have to look at it like this, because they also did it in She-Hulk too, in which, are you caught up?
And what?
Are you caught up on She-Hulk?
Yeah, I seen She-Hulk.
Okay. Okay, so I didn't want to spoil nothing for you. So on She-Hulk, when Daredevil and She-Hulk met, they were fighting and stuff, and She-Hulk didn't recognize who he was. She was like, who are you? He's like, I'm Daredevil. She was like, who? Daredevil. Now, mind you, Daredevil has been around for a while from now, like in terms of the MCU, but she didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no, you're not taking my food. It's not for you. Get away. So that's like saying that the universe is so big that we're not going to see all the characters. So it's like, man, yeah, they are introducing a lot of characters. But at the same time, we only really focus on the Avengers. And then you can say something like, well, what about all these big events? Where were they at doing these big events, like when Thanos came?
Yeah, that's always my question.
Yeah, where the hell were they?
Because now you could say like, when X-Men come, they're like, I know maybe some X-Men not cool, but like Xavier and Wolverine, like knowing that their age, like they should have definitely been around pre-Thanos. So like, where were you guys at when they finally introduced X-Men into the MCU?
Well, here's a workaround how they can do that. Now, it hasn't been done yet. They haven't used the phrase, but they can always. This goes back also into what I've been saying, that some type of multiversal event has happened in which things changed. Now, I always thought that when Thanos snapped his fingers the first time, and he was in that pond, and he snapped his fingers back, and then when he came back, like at that little pond part, he came back, and he was like all scared and stuff.
Yeah.
I always thought that something happened. Like there was some type of in between, because he didn't seem like a man who like just won.
Yeah, he like, hold on, this is weird. I need to think about something. I'm back.
Yeah. He seemed like a man who just lost something.
Everything.
And I was like, that always stuck with me. I was like, yeah, there's something bigger at play here. Now, Marvel said they didn't really have no plans after Thanos, but they knew they was going to start working or whatever. But I'm like, it's Marvel. It's the House of Ideas, and it's Disney. You guys are going to be working forever. Forever.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, it is. If you think about it, that's scary. It makes
got a life sentence.
Like, yeah, we got money. Big Daddy Mickey got us.
That's
as long as they generate product, even if the movies start to decline, they still got TV shows.
Yeah.
They can still bust out a TV show from here on out. Marvel is set for life.
But that's also DC, like getting me to the shows like this. I haven't seen Miss Marvel. I haven't seen Moon Knight, and I still haven't seen Eternals because it's like so much now. Like before, it was like because it was all spaced out nicely. It was like, oh, we just can't wait for this next movie to come out. But now it's like so much in between to the next movie. It's like, oh god. So just like, yeah.
That's like what I talked about in my last Tech Talk too. When I talked about does everybody read every comic book? No, it's impossible.
Yeah, I saw that.
There are billions of comic books out there. You cannot read them all.
Yeah, that's one thing. Cause I don't know. Like I think that's one thing that's like stopping me from getting into comic books. Because they all got so much story. Like, yeah, you could read the Avengers story, and then you could read Planet Hulk, and it's like just the feeling of what happened between those stories. And it's like, are they one? It's like every story is like a different universe. So like, how do you follow? Like how we got the MCU is like we're following this one thing of movies, but it's like when it gets to a point where it's like, all right, now you telling 10 different stories like they already did with What If. So it's like, who knows what else they're gonna start doing on the side. Like,
they are following. They just became a movie comic book. They're just now comic books in a different media now. Yeah. That's what they are now. That's what the MCU is, and that's why I said Marvel is not even close to being done. At the very least, we still got 15 more years of Marvel, easily.
Yeah, I'm already wiped out.
Yeah, you know, my girl said the same thing. She said, like, before we went to go see Doctor Strange, I was like, "Hey, we're going to see Doctor Strange." She was like, "Oh man, Marvel? Like, do I have to like watch anything before I see it? Like, WandaVision."
Damn.
It's like, really? She's like, "Yeah." Like, crap. Because she's behind too. She's behind.
She's still in phase 3.
A nerd. You know, she's like yourself. She's a nerd. It's just that, like you said, it's too much. But at the same time, it is going to reach a point where you don't have to watch nothing before. It's going to reach a point.
Yeah, that's where I wanted to go. Because that's why I always say, for me personally, the first Guardians movie is probably my favorite, like, made movie in the MCU, because it was like the only movie that you did not need to watch anything before, and it still told a nice story and still showed how like we're in space, but they still made it felt like you wasn't lost. So it was great. Yep. But then everything's I like every other movie is like just a big trailer to the next movie, and I'm like,
oh man, that's a good statement. I never heard it said like that before. A big trailer to the next movie. Wow.
Yeah, like,
wow, that's dope. Like, look at this 2-hour long trailer for that movie.
This is one long trailer.
Oh man, that's what WandaVision was. WandaVision was like what? 8 hours? 8 hours?
Just to settle Doctor Strange.
Man. Wow. Yeah. Damn, that's sad, but damn. That is sad, but like, fuck. But that's how you get people to come in.
Yeah.
You know, people like you and I, the people who have done at least 10 years in the MCU business, or anywhere at a 10 year of some type of media, we're like, man, that's a lot.
Yeah, like I'm looking at the phase list, I'm like, all right, I'll probably watch that.
I mean, you're gonna have like a 4-year-old or a 10-year-old that's gonna start getting into it. Boom. Now they're like, so like Marvel, not even close to done. Not even close. I'm as a person who's a Marvel fanboy, I'm happy for that statement. Like, man, because they almost filed for bankruptcy and everything. That would have been the end of Marvel.
That was a great comeback, but damn.
Man, comeback. Oh my God.
My only thing is that the prices that they never got the full Hulk license, so they couldn't never do another solo one after the first one they did. I'm like, because that was like my favorite Marvel character, like period. And then, yeah.
Oh, you might get that. You might get that World War Hulk. You might get it.
They teasing it, but I'm like, even at that, I'm like, that's a very personal story for Hulk, and the way he is now, I can't see him. I don't know, like that's a acting role, like not a going crazy action fight. Like that's like him pouring his emotions out, like him falling in love, him building this community, then like finding a family, finding a home finally after always being hated for so long. So like,
I think they're gonna go dark.
I would love for them, but it's like with Professor Hulk, it feels weird.
That's what I'm saying. Again, go back to one of my other videos where I was like saying, this is all leading up to him losing it.
That would be amazing.
they're playing the whole lovey-dovey happy road, and they're just gonna tear him down.
Oh, that's the that gives me hope that that's happening. Yeah.
Because it's coming too easy. It's coming too easy.
They massacred my boy.
I don't have nobody in there. Well, died. So.
Well, right now for me it's Doctor Strange. That was like the last movie I was like hyped for, and
Strange good.
That man just dipped. So I don't know when he's coming back.
He's all stuck.
Yeah.
I mean, the only way to. I mean, Robert Downey Jr. was making other films while doing Iron Man and the other Avengers stuff.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a sense of he can't get any other roles. It's more of a like, do you know how the WWE works? They wrestle pretty much.
Yeah.
They're on the road every day.
they work like every night, but on TV we only see them twice a week, depending on the brand.
So for Robert Downey Jr. in the earlier MCUers, that's how it was. It was like every day, even though they can get those other roles, it's like you can get that other role if you want, but you're gonna have a busy month. But no, man, I'm really just. I understand people's hate for it in terms of, man, I'm burnt out. I get it a lot because it takes up your day. It's not like when you read a book. You can read most people, like a speed reader, can read a book in like about a comic book anyway. They can read a comic book in like 10 minutes, maybe less. But a movie or a TV show is different. You're like locked into the minutes. Yeah. So it's like, oh. Because you never see nobody complaining about, oh my God, I got too many comic books. Oh, I got too much material.
Too much.
It's more like, yo, I took this weekend, I got to my corner, I knocked out 100 and so books. That's like, imagine that in Marvel MCU. 130 movies and TV shows, that is damn near 3 years. If you're watching TV shows and movies, that's like 3 years of your life gone.
Craziness. What's your, since we talked about, what is your thoughts on She-Hulk overall? I only touched on it lightly. I wanted to talk more about it with you. Yeah.
Oh, I love She-Hulk. Now, it's funny, most people who know me personally, when She-Hulk was coming out during Civil War times, there was one issue, I think it was issue number 8, and it was like selling out of copies really fast. And I was able to get one, and I was like, oh, She-Hulk. And I was like, that's how my voice was. And they made fun of me ever since. Like, oh, Dave got a She-Hulk copy. But That's how I look at that show, man. I was so excited because it reminded me of how She-Hulk read. It is fourth dimensional. It is just batshit crazy. I mean, it's like you can't have, in the terms of the MCU She-Hulk, you can't have that She-Hulk be just like regular Hulk.
Yeah.
It would be boring. It was like, oh, it's just another one who smashes. Okay. So that's boring. You need to give her the same type of attributes, but put her in a different level. Also, my thoughts on She-Hulk was that, this job is doing exactly what it's meant to do, in terms of it's telling us, the viewer, seeing that this is a multiversal show, as I always said, and I will say, is doing a great job at, because she's a lawyer, and so in the fourth dimensional speech, way that she talks and the way she's talking to us and everything, Marvel is telling us exactly how their product is. This is their product. Remember that. Yeah. At the end of the day, this is the stories that they want to tell. And if you like these stories, stick around. That's what people need to understand. Like, if this story's not for you, it's not for you. Move along. If you didn't like it, move along. That's how it works. You don't tell somebody to conform to you because you're crying about it. Hey, no, do what I want.
Yeah.
I want that to happen. I want She-Hulk then join Marvel, join the MCU, join Disney.
Work forever.
Write that story. Write that story. If not, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, because I didn't like that when it first came out. I like the videos that was being recommended on my YouTube about how much the MCU is dead. The Phase 4 is terrible. She-Hulk is the worst thing they made. I'm like, bro, that's the first episode. Like, just discredit the entire Marvel brand. Like, damn. So I watched the first. So I'm watching it, and I'm like, all right, I kind of see where y'all don't like it, but I'm like, it's not terrible. My only thing with the whole show, it took me after watching it and realizing what was going on to understand what the show was really doing. But I didn't like that. It was like, it's She-Hulk, but the show is very less about her. Like, the whole show is about, like I said, building up the law firm, learning that there's more superheroes that's out and about now, and who's doing what and who's doing where. It just happens to be that way. Just She-Hulk is just the character that's being the main driving force in this one. Because I'm like, what's her story besides, like, yeah, she turned into a Hulk and she got to deal with it. But I'm like, what's the, if there's a conflict, who's going to be her enemy, who's going to give her a challenge? And like, there was none of that until the entire show. I'm like, so like, what is this about? Then I'm like, oh, so this whole show, like I don't want to say it's a big trailer. It was just a big world building. That the whole show was just building the whole world about what's happening in MCU right now and why why certain things are becoming normal. Like, why is Titania like coming out of nowhere just being super strong? And like, now when you watch a show like Daredevil or Echo and you find her fighting strong people, like, well, we now know that there's strong people out there now, so it won't make you confused going forward.
Man, I'm glad you caught that. Man, because a lot of people caught that. Like, this show is not a She-Hulk origin. That would be boring. Like I said earlier, if she's just another Hulk, just Hulk smashing, you know what the formula is going to be. She's going to have an origin. She's not going to want to be She-Hulk no more. Yeah. She's gonna do some type of catastrophe thing in which she's going to be running from the law and everything. That would be the same thing as the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah. Which is good that they brought him to talk about, like, you're going to have to get all this sorted out in the first episode. Like, it's just... I'm mad. So She-Hulk did its job. It did its great. It did a great job.
And when people look back at it, because it always happens, 5 years from 10 years from now, they're gonna like, you know what, She-Hulk was a good show.
Yeah, they find something that they don't like that came out in that time period. Like, you know, man, back when we had She-Hulk, it wasn't like this. Like, yeah, you probably trashed it out when it came out.
Yeah, you were talking stuff. There's videos of you. I screenshot it all.
I saved all the hate videos just in case.
Just in case you change your mind. You're all confident. That's why I find fascinating. I think it's called hate culture. Like, you guys just hate everything. Yeah. It comes out. I'm hate. Then why are you watching it? Why are you playing?
Making whole content about it. Yeah, only I'm making these 20 videos as long as an episode. Just going in.
Oh, you just take it away. You're taking away your life. Oh man, so much.
Yeah.
No, you like it. You probably play Dark.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Answer your question. I love She-Hulk, man.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I enjoyed it. I like.
What show of the matter of fact, of all the comic book shows is popping? What's popping for you?
In the MCU or in general? You talking about?
In general.
I don't think about it because I'm mainly an anime dude, but I haven't been watching anime in like probably this entire year. Like, if you want to nitpick, I watched Cyberpunk, but
that was good.
Yeah, that was
most
amazing.
of that.
But I've just been reading manga. Honestly, I finally started collecting manga, so I've just been reading most of it. So I haven't had time to just watch anime and stuff. Yeah. So other than that, like I said, even with Marvel, like I skipped Moon Knight, I skipped Miss Marvel. I saw She-Hulk just to see. I only watched She-Hulk mainly because of how everybody was hating on the first episode, and I wanted to see like, are y'all really just mad, or is it really that bad? And I'm like, oh, all right. I just stuck around and just kept on watching it. So
people do it for attention.
Yeah.
Like, you don't hate this show. You know for a fact this is your bread and butter. You probably have a She-Hulk t-shirt, some She-Hulk gloves on, just like ready. Yeah.
Like, oh, she did the twerking scene. Oh, it's down the hill from here. I'm like, bro.
Is it really? I mean, if anything, you guys are just like giving all types of power to this show by talking about it. You know what shows suck?
What?
The show you don't hear about.
Oh.
The show you don't hear about is the show that sucks. If you come across a show and you watch it, you're like, oh, no one never heard about this show. But sometimes, in rare occasions, sometimes you come across a show you never heard about. It's fire, but you heard about it. Matter of fact, no, you never heard about a bad show. No, you don't.
No one will talk about it.
You don't hear no type of reviews about how bad that show is.
Yeah.
You know, like, name a bad show. What's a bad show? I'm trying to give context here. Like, a bad show would be, no, people like that show for some reason. But bad shows, bad. What are bad shows? See, that's another thing.
Yeah. And I don't even watch a lot of like live action shows either. Like, there's some anime I watched that was like maybe mid, but I don't know, bad. If it's bad, I would stop watching like within the first episode. Like, I'm very picky about when I watch things. So like, yeah, like I can't just be watching everything because everybody's hyping it up. But it's funny that we talked about the hate culture thing. I'm not watching this, but I listen to a podcast of people who you guys that do watch it, and they like do episode review. I think it's the Lord of the Rings show that just came out. So they talk about the episode. They reviewed the episode on each episode. They do that podcast, and they talk about how much they love it and whatnot. And I don't watch it, but I'm just listening to the excitement, how they talking about it, how they love it. And randomly, I got recommended a video. And I just looked at it for like 5 seconds and I just kept on scrolling. But the fact that I saw it, and someone was like, "Oh, the season finale was just terrible, it was the worst thing out." I'm like, and then I'm listening to the podcast, and they like, "Yo, this is amazing. I love it. It's the best episode of the entire season." I'm like, "Yo, so what's going on?" like, these dudes love the show, and I got this one random video. Someone just, the title looked like they just hated the show, and I was like, I wasn't gonna watch it because I don't watch the show to see if I can validate his feelings. But I was like, so I don't know, people just hating just to make views and whatever. So yeah, it's strange.
That is exactly what they're doing, and it's a pain point, as it's called in marketing. You attack people's pains, and people pain is right now for shows is the assumption or the thought that a show may be bad, and so if something's bad, then they're gonna watch to see how bad it is. And we're gonna watch that video. Oh my God, is that bad?
I feel like it's like low key. They probably like, it's like they promoting the show to get more people to watch it. And I'm like, is that your intention? No, like you giving it more views.
It's a good tactic. Yeah. I'm 100% certain that most of these people
they probably get paid.
Or who hate the show, know that they actually like the show, but they can't really say it out loud because they chose that lifestyle. You know what I mean? So it's like you chose that bed, and then maybe sometimes the real ones who say they hate something, and then they'll go back saying, you know what, I was wrong. I like this show. Those are the ones who I follow.
Yeah, those are the videos I'm waiting to see on She-Hulk. I want to find those people who hated the first episode, see if they made a video like now that the season's over, see if they still kept that energy.
Matter of fact, let's put that. This is receipts, people. Whoever's listening, what's going to happen is 5 to 10 years from the date of this video being posted, you're going to start seeing a trend of people saying She-Hulk was actually a really good show, and that this thing is actually this X, Y, and Z. Here's why. And then you're going to see a trend of people following suit.
Especially because, like, if Phase 4 is just... Because the way I look at Phase 4 is just the passing of the torch phase. That's how I looked at it. And,
man, yes.
And, like, so you said, like, 5 years from now, like, whatever phase we're going to be in at that time, if we're going to be in the 5th phase, like, who knows what stories we telling at that point. And, like, man, back in Phase 4 when it was simple, we had She-Hulk and WandaVision or whatever. I'm like, bruh. Like, cause now y'all probably finally got burnt out too, and y'all can't keep up with the next phase.
Uh-oh.
So, like,
oh, can you still see me?
Oh, what?
Or hear me?
I can, yeah.
Oh, I tapped my screen and I heard you and everything. But yeah, that's all gonna happen.
Yeah. And
I can't wait. This is an I told you moment for me. As a long time nerd that's been in this game has seen all the types of changes a media could happen if we were to stick in the MCU talks. I mean, they were making Marvel movies back then they made the cartoons, then they made the video games, then they made the cards, then they made the hologram stuff for the stuff. Then I'm like, but it's like all of a sudden all that stuff is like, yo, let's make it where they're in the same universe. You know?
Dope.
So no one complained. Matter of fact, the funniest thing about this is this whole hate thing, and the MCU and DC as well. Any type of thing really. This has this type of realm where there's like multiple characters inside one universe. This whole, you know what's funny is that my generation, probably yours too, we all when we used to watch movies like the Spider-Man movies that came out when Sony, we all used to go like, wouldn't it be cool if like Reed Richards was like just pop up and just like do something in the background, just disappear? Or
that
like
used to be one of my random questions. I'm like, this man is Spider-Man fighting wars in New York. Like, where's the help? This man fought the Goblin, fought the Octopus, fought the Sandman, and Venom at the same time. Like, yo, where is somebody?
Man, he's on the news. There is clearly a battle being done.
Oh, this man going so hard. And it's not even like the villains is doing small things, but maybe Green Goblin he was probably the smallest in terms of his impact, but like Octopus like was building a device that was going to destroy half the city. I'm like, bro, like where's the help?
Like, where's Tony Stark? Like, he don't see that happening. No, he's busy.
It's not. And the funny thing, I never know. Like I said, this again going back to watching things when you're young and watching it now, like realizing that Peter Parker, we always know Queens is where he's from, but I'm like, this for a person who's in Queens, this man's in Manhattan a lot. Not realizing that him and Harry moved out from Queens after the first. Yeah. So I'm like, well, this man's in the city a lot, just holding it down. This man not even from here. Man left his whole borough to help out where the other people at.
He's helping out the big people. He's making moves.
This man left his whole borough. Like, y'all can't help him out.
He's dedicated to his craft. That's another thing. Like, man, now you think about it, Spider-Man. That's a man who dedicated his craft. And like his dedicated, like, I'm going to be the best artist. And he was. Everybody loves Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But he ain't making no money from it.
Yeah.
He's broke. He's a broke artist. Spider-Man is a broke artist.
I saw that. I saw something on TikTok a while ago about that his superpower is actually bad luck because like things just never work out for him.
That's actually true. It's called the Peter Parker luck. Yeah. He goes, I got that Peter Parker luck. And there's a video by what's her name? Danica. I forgot her last name, but she used to go by comic book girl 19.
Yeah. And
she had like this TED talk. It's like one of my favorite TED talks. And she talks about, picking fictional characters to like influence your lifestyle, whatever. If you want to be Doctor Strange, have that Doctor Strange mindset and like do what would Doctor Strange do in the world of business, things of that nature, right? And she goes, but you also have to have an opposite side of that too, to keep you balanced, so you know what not to do and how to avoid it, how you don't want to be. So she said, maybe you don't want to be called, maybe you don't want to be Peter Parker because Peter Parker sucks. He has bad luck. You don't want to be that guy.
Yeah. Like,
why would you want to be him? So you have to make sure you're picking the right, parts of the character. I was like, oh man, that's dope. So it's funny that you mentioned his luck.
Yeah.
She worded it better than I did. You should, look it up. It's a TED Talk, Comic Book Girl 19. It's a really good TED Talk. Came out like about 10 plus years ago.
Jeez.
Yeah. I was like, man, dope. She went to school for to be a comic book artist. No, a comic book, something that majors in the application of comic book characters or something like that. I was like, oh, what?
I don't know.
She said that there was just a class for it and I took it. I was like, man, I wish I would have had that. I would have succeeded. Man.
Same thing. I was at when I was on my last year of school in college, and they finally started to put gaming classes and gaming major into the school. I'm like, like I was here all these years, bro. Oh my god. So
I want to go.
Yeah, so I took one class of how to learn basic animation. I'm like, bro, man. But restart my entire college life. That's not, but it was cool.
That's funny you mentioned gaming, man, because I was thinking about how are you kind of semi segue into gaming, but because it's going to kind of lead into that. But are you familiar with AI art?
AI, I hear about it, and I've been seeing recommendations of it lately.
Yeah, man. I tell everybody hey man, you should get into it. It's really simple, and the way I want to describe it to anyone who's listening, as someone who's played around with code. I'm not a coder hardcore, but I've played around with code enough to see where it's headed, and also in other applications such as drawing and teaching and learning new ways of speaking and everything like that. AI art is going to revolutionize a lot of genre, and it's in the same realm as coding, like without coding. So example would be like, you could just speak a phrase in there and something would pop up. Now let's just say you speak, I want a girl with blue eyes. It may give you a girl with blue eyes, but the art is not what you like. So you have to recode it. You have to rephrase it. You have to find the right syntax to make that vision that you most likely have in your head manifest better. So it's coding by speaking. So I find that dope, because they're also doing videos. You can AI art a video just by speaking a phrase. I'm just like, yo, this is big. What if that moves on?
I didn't watch it, but I kept on seeing a recommendation for the AI art for the Billie Jean video. Like the video is done through AI art, and I'm like,
that is step into, bro.
Yeah,
there's lots of them out there are free. I mean, at the very least, like for me, the door to open up for me is I no longer have to like try to find an artist. Like if I need to make a comic book, done. It's over now. That's dead.
That is because that's one thing I struggle with in art, because I went to school for art, but I'm good at like mainly doing like logos and stuff. I don't know how to draw. So obviously one thing I wanted to do originally for my podcast obviously is like have a character of myself as the front man instead of just the text, but I can't.
So
so that'd be nice if I can get something like that done.
Like a Max Headroom, whatever his name, Max Headroom. You remember? You know him?
No.
He's a digital. He was back in the 80s.
Oh, dude, I definitely know. The fun thing though, thing about me is despite going to school for art and whatever, I've never been that dude who's like, oh, like my favorite artist is this dude and that dude. Like, I don't know. I just like, if I like what I see type thing, that's what I am. But like, I don't be diving deep into who did this and what he did with his life.
Well, I'm a little bit of column A, a little column B. It depends how dope the art is. Like, man, I want to know who this person is. I gotta find their soul.
Man, speaking to me, I must know who this is.
Man, give me this. But yeah, man, that's a good thing. It's a game changer for me. I've done like about, well, what I'm looking for anyway, I've done about 6 comic book covers. I'm like, all right, got those ready to go. Now I'm working on a way to make it more comic book-esque, so it has that vibe of a comic book. So I'm trying to figure out that medium, because here's the kicker. So far as it stands, if you were to have 100 people in the same area and they all type in the exact same phrase, none of them will get the same image. I find that fascinating and dope. They may get close representations, but they will not get the same thing.
So the question is, going into, I guess, conspiracy or media control, do you think that's something like, because they know your device or whatever and what information you've been putting in, they know how to make a art that might cater to you? Or you think...
Yes and no. Works off of all the images that are across this in the world. Every image that's been uploaded into the internet, that's what the computer gets. So the more Jim Lee art there is, the more it has something to build upon. And then the more references of Unreal Engine stuff, they have references to pull upon. But the AI is only smart enough to it still needs to be guided. So you know how in story they tell you, what is it? Show don't tell.
Yeah.
So you need to do the reverse. You need to tell, don't show. So that's why I said it's gonna make a person's vocabulary enhance so much. I'm looking at this at that point too. Like, man, people whose vocabulary are not that well, great, whatever. Yeah. It's gonna force people to, I want this, but what's another word for this? oh, find that. It's gonna teach people who cannot even read, probably like find a segue into an image. Like, all right, what do you want? I want a ghost. All right, we're gonna teach you how to spell ghost, and it's gonna make them feel better about themselves because they can like, oh, ghost. It's gonna blow things out of proportion. It's gonna revolutionize a lot of things. Right now, it's like NFTs. It's just almost like a cash grab. But once that slows down, and once more people find out that they can like build like more utility stuff upon that, man. But right now, you can use it as your business. You need you want a animation? They got that. Yeah. How well it's going to be, I'm not sure. We're still all of us in beta. But all the pictures so far, all the pictures are phenomenal. But all the videos I've seen so far, they don't look that well. They look like low res GIFs. Like, we're not there yet.
Yeah, I might have to check that out.
Yeah, man. I try to stay apprised of everything. Like I said earlier, when we first started, man, I'm trying to get involved. I'm having this resurgence in everything nerd related, culture related, tech related, and all that stuff. Because I feel like, I don't know how you feel, but I feel like something's coming. I don't know what. I don't know what. Yeah. I've been saying this since the pandemic started. And I still haven't felt it. So like, other than that fact that I'm not sure if you know that I was in the hospital for that C word. I don't want to mention it on your podcast. I was there, and I want you to get blacklisted. Yeah. I was there for that. I was admitted for that, and I thought that I was in preparation for that. But I still have like this deep gut feeling that something's about to pop off.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know you meant it in that way. I thought you meant in terms of like technology.
Oh, both, like all things. Like we're
entering the next phase.
Yeah, we're in a chaotic phase where everything is just going really fast. Economy is just like, it's up, it's down, but it's like so down that the homeless rates is like raised. The homeless rate is rising so bad in California that it's now part of the ballots of this year, voting things. That's how bad it's got. Yes. In California itself, because man, I'm not sure in other parts of the world, but here, yeah. And then you have a rise in prices, gas and food. People every time, because as an Instacart shopper, that's where I get my money. I hear all the shoppers just complain about the prices of food, like if they're going up. And then this one person was like, "Yeah, I got 2 jobs." Like, man, you got 2 jobs and you struggling still? Back then, getting 2 jobs, like that means you got money.
Yeah.
Like you ain't worried about. Oh, I ain't worried about this bread costing this. I got 2 jobs. Like my life is money. Mm-hmm. Now it's like I need a 5th job. I need a 5th one. I need another one because the job that I have only pays pays me enough to get gas to go to work and my electricity bill.
Craziness.
I need another job to get me to get food. But nah, technology is on the ballot as well. It's there as well. where it all ends. I'm happy with it. I'm not one of those people like, oh, I'm scared. Oh, things are gonna end. You know, nah, man. This is part of evolution. This is what I mean by things. Something about to pop off. Like, yeah, this is. We're gonna see something that's gonna make us go, oh, we're there. Right now, we're still hanging in the 1990s, early 2000s. We haven't seen that. Oh.
Well, I guess we can do a double segue here, because this is sounding going into something I talked about like a few episodes ago, which is cyberpunk.
I love that shit.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about, I guess, everything cyberpunk, but going into in a general sense, I talked about like when we get to the point of actually like where we are in the cyberpunk world, and I'm questioning like why is it? Because you say you feel something about Seiko, because you feel like we're still in the past. So like, why is it that we're still behind? I guess because we watch movies like Back in the Future too. Like they predicted how 2015 was supposed to look like, and here we are now. We still not really close there. So it's like, what is it that's still taking us that long? Then of course my question about when we do get into cyberpunk, like how into it would you be, I guess, in terms of like body modifications and all of that?
I am pretty much into it, and my girl is as well, because we've had this discussion before. Like, because I'm like, yo, I asked her like, hey, would you like cybernetic eyes? She's like, yeah. Like, oh, bet. Like, I would like to get something cybernetic. I'm not sure what degree. Like, would I be like? It's hard to say. Like, what would I get? Removed or replaced? Like, would I get a new hand?
Yeah.
Like. It depends. Like, do I need a new hand?
I guess that's what it is with me too. Because it's like, I mean, it sounds cool to get something in hands, but it's like, do I need to be in hands type thing?
Yeah. Because the cool stuff that we see in cyberpunk, where they're just like, they still look human, but underneath their bodies, that's like, if cyberpunk were to start now and people modifying themselves. That what I just mentioned, that's like 10 years out. like when they look normal. So we're gonna get like the Atom Smasher look.
Bruh. Just straight up Borg.
Borg.
That was that. I forgot to mention this too, but it came into my head like after I finished recording. They showed that in iRobot, where we learned that Will Smith character actually has a robotic arm, but he spray paints, I guess, his skin on, so it looks like he has a normal hand. But,
I remember that.
Yeah.
I thought that was common knowledge.
Yeah, because that was my question about like how, I guess, getting your like to make ourselves look normal. Like, because even if when we go into the anime, spoiler for whoever have not seen the anime, we saw when David Bob put on that big suit, and it was like what was left of his body was just torso. Like this man was like just completely bored out.
I haven't watched them all yet. I think I fell asleep on episode 2.
Oh, you haven't watched it? Oh, jeez.
Oh man, I'm tired. But I remember episode 1. I was like, because I was a little taken aback. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna watch this because I feel like it's gonna suck. But I took a chance. I was like, oh man, it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I was kind of like, I have a strange cyberpunk story, but I didn't feel like, because like I said, I haven't watched the anime, and like I've been reading everything, so I'm like, I don't know if I wanted to sit here and watch that episode every day and try to keep up. I sat there and watched the one episode. I ended up binging the entire show right there. I'm like, oh god, this is amazing. So yeah, but that show is amazing, but it's still like to get to the point where like you said, when we're not just looking like straight up Borgs and it just looks normal for us, but like
10 years from now.
Yeah.
If it were to start, if cyberpunk stuff started today to look normal, 5-10 years out, easy. Because it's like Well, you know what? To be fair, let me rethink this. Let me rethink that, because there's a lot of improvements in 3D printing. Like 3D printing is really dope. I've seen some really good designs of people making, like even in film. What film was that? There's a film that me and my girl watched just recently, and it was a space film. It was three people. I forgot the name of the movie, forgot the name of the people. That's horrible. But the premise of the movie is their goal is to go to space, and they're going to Mars, I believe, and to do some science stuff. But the ship gets malfunctioned because there's a stowaway. I think it's called stowaway, because there's a fourth passenger, a stowaway aboard. They find him. This guy accidentally messes up all the electronics because something happened to him. I think he got like caught in between, got caught up in the launch, and he just got caught up. So what ends up happening is, during this whole chaos in which they are scrambling to fix the malfunction, the space captain breaks her arm.
Oh God.
And the doctor of the ship fixes her arm with a 3D printed splint, and that 3D splint was so smooth. And I was just like, that's something that was actually made. that was an actually made thing. I'm not sure how long it took them to make it on set, whatever.
Yeah.
What was that? No, that was I literally know that was made. So I'm like, going back to what you said, like, it just, looking back, it's probably gonna come down to the material, how strong it is.
Yeah.
To, like, if I wanted to place my forearm, that can be and have it look human. Because I've seen some good flesh stuff. It's funny you mentioned that. Shout out to Mind Pump. Shout out to the Mind Pump podcast, because they mentioned this earlier today when I was going to my interview. They was talking about what's gonna come first, sex robots, and he instantly goes sex robots, because sex robots are anything that's new in technology. Sex will always be first. We're always going to try to sex something.
That's it.
But
even VR, oh God, they went straight to that. VR
went straight to it.
Yeah.
Like, sex in here? Let's find out.
Let's find out. Like, nah, is there game? Nah, is there sex in here though?
The sex mannequins now that look real lifelike.
Yeah.
And they can be posed. I'm like, yo, bro, this is a threat to humanity. like that's gonna end things. So to answer your question, is this, you know what? I still say 5 to 10 years with an asterisk of like the material being used to make us look human-like without us going, are you a real person?
Yeah.
Like, so yeah.
Oh.
But I still said there's still be some Atom Smashers.
That just actually, that just popped into my head. There's an anime called, what is it called? I think Garden of Eve, something like that, where it's a futuristic Japan. It's futuristic in a sense where androids are like a common thing to have around, but they look human-like, but they have like a ring around their head to indicate that they're android. But there's like a cafe that you can go into and it will remove the ring. So the point is, like, basically you're not supposed to discriminate in there, so you're not supposed to ask like questions if who's an android or not. You're supposed to just assume everybody is just themselves. So when the main character has his android made thing, he followed her into the cafe and see that, like, she's like, when she's in there, she's acting like a straight up regular person. Like when she's at home, she acts like a robot, like, yeah, follow your command, all of that. But when she's in the cafe, like, she's a whole person. So like, yeah, like get to a point where it's like, can we tell who's gonna be a person or not with modifications, or if it could be an android type thing straight up. Borg. Yeah.
That premise sounds just like Detroit. The video
The
game?
game.
You ever played that?
I have not played it. A lot of people recommend it to me. I have not played it. Isn't that, if I'm not mistaken, is that a PlayStation exclusive?
Not sure about exclusive, but I definitely played it on PlayStation. I got it. I bought it with my own cash, and then like the following week they released it for free on PlayStation Plus.
Bruh.
I was so upset. I just bought this. But yeah, man, it sounds just like the premise.
It was on
like,
PlayStation and PC, so.
Okay. PC. Well, PC gets almost everything,
Yes,
pretty much. I mean, I'm not a PC gamer.
Oh, you know.
In the sense of like I play exclusively on PC, but if I could play a game on PC, like I mainly would like to play like world building games on PC. Yeah. Like I haven't yet to find a good world building game since Galactic Galaxy, whatever, 3, right?
I don't know. I have not played that.
It's like Empire. It's like just you build your space empire. You know, you go around space. It's turn-based and everything. Oh man, I'll have to look this game up because I want to. Galactic Empire. Oh, that's Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Galaxy 3. There we go. Galactic Civilizations 3.
Jeez.
And there's 2 more, but 3. That's the last time I played it, and that game came out in 2015. I'm guessing because everything gets switched over to like consoles and everything is like multiplayer now and first-person shooters.
Yeah.
I'm not really trying to make games like that, but I think there will be a resurgence in that pretty soon. But I think it's going to be in blockchain world, like in that whole space. I'm not sure who's going to do it first, but I'm pretty sure because there will be more at stake there, and it'll be a more fulfilling experience. Games like that where it's just yourself, it could be fun, but sometimes it's like you just show everybody you're like conquering galaxies. It's like I want to conquer real people. so I think there'll be something had that. Plus, honestly, again, this is some meta thinking that I'd be thinking of when it hits when gaming, because all the top tier gaming companies, they'll eventually go to blockchain and 100% over. But eventually, when that happens, when more gamers and stuff are on this, they can just, if they're not doing it now, they can track our mind patterns and see where, like, oh man, that guy's good at building empires. Let's give him a job. Oh man, that guy's good at God of War. Let's put him in a ring, or let's have him train a fighter, a real life fighter.
That's what the army was doing. They would like watch Twitch streamers of people playing like Call of Duty with them. Like, hey, you ever thought about taking your talents to the army? Like,
that's actually did not even put that together. I mean, damn.
I don't know how like you clicking the button, you really see you actually pulling the trigger, but like, that's what they do.
Oh, no, you gotta look at it like this.
I mean, the whole your reflection, your reaction time, and all of that goes into gaming, but.
Well, yeah, like if they were to like take that into an Android model, like a full-fledged Android human.
Mm.
So we'll never have to lose human life ever again. Man, I didn't even.
Until the androids wonder what's the use of humans.
This segues into what you was hinting at earlier, where you was like, what's the way to why we haven't had the technology right now, and we're looking at the technology in films. Is that how you worded it?
Basically, like why we still haven't gotten there, that films and medias have predicted that we would be by now.
Well, to answer your question, like for me, what I see is like one, almost everybody knows that the military gets shit first.
Yeah.
They test that out for years. Cause that blew my mind. Cause we still stay in the gaming range. Cause I'm about to blow your mind. In Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater, this is where I first discovered that, like, cause he had like M16 guns and stuff like that, and that was a period piece. He was like in the 1980s or something like that, and I was like, hey, those are for my knowledge of guns is not that great, but I know that gun is being used like now. At that time when I was playing that game, like these are like new guns. And then I read deeper into the thing where we had to read books and stuff. We didn't have a Google. We had to like find books and magazines.
The best.
Splurge for information. I found out that Hideo Kojima was like, most guns, most things the military gets first. And so these are things that the military had way before it became public. I was like, oh, okay, that's dope. So I didn't know that. So the other part is, have you ever seen this movie called Childhood's End?
No.
Or read the book?
No.
Man, so I like I'm gonna utilize this in a way because to work with this, because it's almost like in Hollywood as the same way. So in context, so in Childhood's End, an alien comes to Earth. Alien species comes to Earth. They tell them, we're gonna solve all your problems pretty much. We're gonna give you all this. We're gonna heal this, that. The kicker is that the aliens look like Satan from the Bible. Yeah. And so most of the humans are like freaking out. They're like, "Wow, oh my God! If we let the devil in, we're gonna lose." Type stuff. Like, "Oh my God, this is the test. It's real." Other ones are like, "No, this is the alien species. We want to learn from them." Right? It's perfect sense to have that reaction. I'm like, yeah, that's actually how it should be. So you find out that the alien tells the human race, like, yo, every vision, every book, every religion thing that you made with our image and stuff in it, we sent it to you because we were telling you that we're going to come pretty soon because we're going to take you to the next level of consciousness, whatever. And pretty much those aliens, those demon aliens, those devil aliens, they're only like shepherds. They're only bus drivers. They can't go to the next level. Yeah. their only job is to like take cultures and civilizations and like take their consciousness, whatever, and transport them to a different reality. I'm like, okay. So if you look at it like that, then you add the whole movie aspect to it of like, how come movies are all these futuristic stuff, but we don't have it now? That's because we're telling ourselves that stuff is coming. Like, there is no way that our mind should be thinking about that stuff.
Yeah.
And making it happen. And then we get it little by little. We get the microwave, we get the smartphone, we get the smart home, we get the automobile, the auto car, we get all those things in increments because we are getting ourselves ready. It's not that it's not here. It's just that we're trying to manifest it for we can work it. We're like, all right, here's the beta. Here's the beta. It's in this movie. It's in this movie right here. What do you guys think?
Yeah, that's what I was basically saying. That we're basically like this generation right now, just to beta test this.
Oh, we're just beta testing. We're getting stuff ready for the next people.
Yeah, that's why I say I'm like that's probably going to second. Like we probably might not see it, but we the one who's testing it, so that the next generation is like, yeah, we got the cyberpunk stuff. I'm like, damn, bro.
And the cool, that's why you should record yourself. Record yourself talking about this stuff, because the very least, the very least, your legacy will live on.
Yeah.
Imagine, that's why I do a lot of videos too. Now I'm gonna get all my angles too, because if you put out more and more and more, and someone will take your likeness, right? Like they did Bruce Willis, and now your descendants, whatever, will make money forever.
Yeah, I think he made it that he can be deep faked or something like that, or whatever it is. That so even if he do pass, he would still be technically around to play.
that is insane. Never thought about doing, like, man, that's different. And I'm pretty sure a few years from now, you're gonna see more and more actors think about that. They'll be like, actually, that's pretty genius. It probably, you know what? If anything, most actors who are smart and care about their families and things like that, and want to be are not egotistical, like I'm not sure all actors are or not, probably already got their agents doing that, putting them into these contracts. Probably in the contract, it probably states it like, only when I'm dead. Like when I die, you get activated. That way, X, Y, and Z, no one can do it. If I see it while I'm alive, boom, boom, boom. Like I gotta die from natural causes so no one can kill me and make money off me. I got like, because you got, as a lawyer, you gotta think of all kind of ways that can go wrong. Like, oh, only when you die? Well, if I kill you, then I can make your money.
Yeah.
So you gotta pinpoint that.
Yeah.
Or it could be in their will. They could put it in their will that what happens, like only that person sees that will, wrote it in there, and like, oh, that's smart. We're almost there. Matter of fact, we are there now. We are there now. It's just that it's not we can't find the button, that one button. We got the one button for smartphones, but we haven't had the one button for the other stuff. And the other stuff, if you're, clearly you have, if you're like, oh, like a sex doll that's moving and talking, like if you go deeper into that realm, it's already like big. It's like, oh. It's just not like cars. You go outside, cars are everywhere. Like, it's only a matter of time when sex dolls are like robotic sex androids. Like when you know for a fact that thing is only being used for sex and it's walking towards you.
Yeah, like no actual females in the corner process, like just dolls just walking around. Like, yeah, I'll take that one.
Uh-oh. And then that's when people are going, uh-oh, we are in trouble. You mentioned that because like my friend was talking about that because he's like semi-anti AI. Like he knows it's cool. He knows there's like benefits from it, but he's like, it takes away from the soul. Like,
yeah.
Like what if the soul is the android? Like, even though I say like we're in trouble, like I'm only saying that from a biological standpoint, from an organic thing that we are now. Like, but what if? Because if you believe in Yoda and what he talks about, what he says that the force is in everything, it's in every living thing, it's in even the rocks, it's in all the forces. Like it's there. Then it's nothing. That means that the force is nothing but energy, and what we know of energy is just potential energy, kinetic energy, momentum energy, all that stuff. It's just flowing. So that means that when we turn to robots, it's just another form of energy. It's just us changing. Like the best way to say it is, remember that saying, like, yo, where's the missing link of humans? Like, apparently it was once apes, right?
Yeah.
Where's the missing link? Where was that change? Oh, it was there. You saw that one guy who was taller, started standing up straighter, and then you saw another one, then you saw another one, then you saw a better one. That was it. So when we start seeing more and more like cyborgs, more and more cyberpunk, that's the missing link.
Yeah, so
it's just
going into the whole soul thing, I'm sure you definitely played Cyberpunk and beat it, right?
Yes.
You know about. So I asked someone about the concept of the soul and Johnny Silverhand. I was like, is he technically like, is his soul in the construct, or is that just like some part of his memory? So like the question is, the fact that he's there, he knows that he's dead, but yet is his soul there, or his soul transferred to, you know, whoever the afterlife is? So like, there's a part of him that's like, you know, just in heaven chilling, but now there's another part of him that's here, like saying, yeah, I'm dead, but I'm here. So it's like, now it's like technically there's two of him existing at the same time type thing. So like what, like, yeah, like when we get to the Cyberpunk, like what part is the soul? Like when we get to enhancing everything about ourselves to becoming full Borg, it's like what's left of us that's like still saying that I am still me. And yeah, that was like, I don't even know the program is called Soul Killer. So like,
it's just funny.
Yeah.
Like, man, like fuck. But no, yeah, man, geez, it's deep. But the way it's he. I'm pretty sure you've heard this through your circles, your friends, families, whatever. But in movies too, you know that thing where when they're like in between of death, and they're like they don't want to go to the light because that's like the afterlife, so they want to stay on Earth, whatever, because they're afraid. Yeah. But my thing is, if you're afraid, then you stay on Earth, and you become a spirit, maybe a messed up spirit. Maybe you get regurgitated into a butterfly. Maybe that's how it works. Like, oh, you choose not to go up. All right, then we will recycle you into something else until you're ready to move on. All right. So the moving on part is actually my idea is, my thoughts on death is that, you know what? It's what I said earlier. It's not that you die. When you die, your energy probably goes somewhere else. Like in a regular sense, when you die, your energy does go somewhere else. But what if when you die, your energy not only goes somewhere else, but it never returns to this plane of existence, like Earth. It doesn't come back at all. It goes into the next level, which can be anything. Like maybe it's a machine world. Maybe Johnny Silverhand, that's his ascension. He became a digital creature.
Yeah.
He became a digital entity. So he's not really. Yes, he's a god because he only exists. But he only exists in his mind, right?
Yeah, but then there's the ending part when you get to because that you mentioned that exactly. That was kind of like the choice of, you know, whoever stays with Alt, they gonna go into that next digital afterlife and transcend over there, and whoever keeps the body keeps the body.
So he was essentially just deciding he wanted to be a spirit, or he wanted to be regurgitated into something different. So he became a digital avatar. Basically. I guess you want to call it. Yeah, I'm a digital avatar. I don't feel like leaving yet, but he's dead now. But I guess your question is like his actual body left. So that energy from the body, where did it go? Man, yeah, that soul energy, man. That's a.
Because there is the option if you let him. What happened?
Maybe it's the same thing. Maybe it's a quantum mechanic thing. Maybe it's neither. Maybe the soul can be whatever it wants.
Yeah, because that's what I said. Like, at least because there's the option of you let Johnny keep your body, and to say he has your body, but yet his soul of his original form is transcend to the afterlife. So it's like, you know, like Johnny now exists here physically, but what he originally once was and his original energy is already somewhere else, long gone. It's like, who's really Johnny now?
Well, then that's a question of like, oh man, you remind me of somebody.
Yeah.
You know, like, you remind me of my friend Wilson. You what? Like, yeah, you guys have maybe that. Man, what if that's a thing? Like, where people, you know, the character Legion, X-Men, he does that. That's his power set, really, in a nutshell. Like, David Haller is never truly in control. Like, it's very rare. It's like he's confused in like which reality he lives in. Like, so when someone dies next to him, anybody really, even if it's like a regular human, they enter his body. The soul essence, the personality enters it, so that personality enters David Haller, and they just can tap into David Haller and control his body, whatever.
Jeez.
So in a sense, that's what Silverhand did, just reverse. He's controlling. He is David Haller, but he's controlling a new body because he's aware that he's David. He's aware that he's Silverhand.
Yeah.
Right? He's aware, right?
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy. I gotta play that game again.
Yeah,
I only played.
I wanted to talk about the game too a little bit with you.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
I just want to know, like, huh?
Who'd you play as?
I have yet to do, which is probably gonna be my next playthrough. I have yet to do Corpo, so I've done all the others.
Okay. Corpo was my second playthrough before my PlayStation started acting crazy. Which I don't know the reason it only acts crazy when I sign online, whatever, like do an internet thing,
yeah,
and it starts like freezes. And I'm like, what's wrong with my PlayStation? Like the whole thing freezes.
I don't know.
But I love Nomads. I like started from nothing.
Yeah. I mean, Street Kid is kind of like that, but it's like they already are in Night City. The Nomad, like, you literally just, all right, I'm in a whole new town, whole new life. See what the city has to offer me.
I'll do whatever it takes to become rich.
Lead the clan.
I didn't like the cop things though. The cops, man, they just came out of nowhere. oh crap! I'm like, man, how can you fight? I like, if anything, when they make a part two, I hope they fix that AI of it.
Yeah, they already confirmed the part two.
They did?
Yeah.
Great. Because it wasn't a bad game. I'm not sure if you played on PS5 or not.
I played on PC.
So you enjoyed the full spectrum of the game, did you?
Oh, that's why I made several videos talking about Cyberpunk on my YouTube and on my podcast. When I first played the game, my first playthrough, I did not like the game. I did, the obvious bugs and glitches, but I didn't get immersed in the story. I didn't understand the mechanics of the game, so I didn't properly build my character right, and I didn't like my ending. I just didn't like the experience. But something about the world of Night City stuck with me. But I didn't touch the game for like almost a year until they did that patch that kind of fixed a lot of stuff. And I decided to jump back in, and I fell in love with the game. I'm currently on my 4th playthrough right now. I 100% of the game. I'm already contemplating 2 more playthroughs. So I'm like, I completely fell in love with this game.
When you say 100% the game, do you mean even does the PC have like a achievement or trophy system?
Yeah, they do.
How does that work? The same? Does it have like the same? Are the achievement systems the same as they are on Xbox and PlayStation? Same stuff.
Yeah, it's on Steam. They still give you trophies and achievements.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
So I was just saying they're just doing everything, and yeah, I ended up falling in love with the game. I just recently learned how to put mods in the game, so that's why I'm like, yeah, I think I'm gonna be playing this a lot longer than I thought I was. Because I was kind of done at that 100% of the game, but I started playing different games afterwards, and I'm like, none of these games is capturing my attention. I'm about to go back to Cyberpunk. And then, the anime came out, and I'm like, yeah, time me to go back to Cyberpunk.
But again, though, like even though they got the patch, you got the patch after.
Yeah.
So that means you get like I said, you get the full spectrum though now of like what they wanted to put into the game. Or are you putting your game on like low res?
For me, I mean, I have it custom. Like there's some things I got high, some things I got low. Okay. Only because my GPU is. Is it full of people? That's what I'm trying to gather. Yeah, like they made it more populated. Just the world, like you could get lost in that city just walking around. Just I don't know how they did it. That city is amazing. Probably one of my favorite open world cities.
That's what I want to experience because of that trailer. I'm like, that's a great world, but But all in all, for PlayStation 3. Or 4, sorry.
That just exploded. Put that in there.
I think you would have melted. Jesus Christ. No, for PlayStation 4, I liked it. So I liked it first time out. I dealt with the glitches by saving every major encounter, like a storyline part or a really good battle that I had, I saved instantly. Like, save. Because it'll crash. Any second, it can crash.
Yeah.
But I really liked it. There was the story. I felt it. I was tensed up by something like, oh man, what do I do? Do I attack him?
Yeah, making choices.
Do I save my boy? Like things like that, I really felt immersed with, and I like that they gave you a timer on something. Like, oh, I make a choice.
Yeah.
There are so many things about the little things. Cause I'm a little things thing about games. I like the little things in games. I love it when characters in the background have their own things going on.
Yeah.
You're like, what are you guys talking about?
Yeah, I love that.
What's happening?
There's one couple that you walk around the street. I guess it's like what would you consider it? The red light district, I guess, or whatever. And this wife will catch him there, and she's like, "Oh, what you doing here? I thought you were working late." You're like, "Oh, what you doing?" He's just hearing them argue.
Like, oh, I gotta go. Yeah, I forgot about So on your second playthrough, or maybe your first, did you get ballsy enough to just like say, "I'm just gonna go to the hardest district right now"?
Oh well, I was more calculated with my second. My second playthrough is my most attached right now. I made her like very like she's basically a net runner for the most part. Like I got her good at just hacking, and if I do use a weapon, it's mainly pistols. But
man, my first, I played everything. I gave him guns.
Yeah, I gave him everything, but the problem was that I did because you gotta put your abilities to certain things to unlock certain things in the skill tree. I didn't have him at anything maxed out, so he was just trash because he had a piece of everything, but he didn't have nothing specialized. I'm like, this man was just all over the place.
Well, for the most part, I'm a stealth person, so I always try to find the thing that gives me the best stealth options. Like see through walls and things like that, like see millions of ways. So I like that. So I always put more in that than everything else. But I always put in everything else. And then I tried the what was the augment stuff? Yeah. So those mantis things, they were cool.
Oh, they nice. They got
a little bit ridiculous.
I got my other character right now, my fourth player, using the wire blade that comes out the wrist.
Yeah, I didn't get to use that well. I was weak with that. Can you bump it up?
I believe you can. It's just it's tricky. I think you got to get probably more. It's not part of the skill tree. It's something else that boosts it up.
Part of your suit. That's another thing.
Yeah.
I love the attributes on the suits. I love when things that you put on your character, you have to tweak them as well, or you don't. If you do, you get more powers. I love games like that.
Yeah, and they also, I don't know if you played it recently, they did with the update, you can now make your character look like you could put them in an outfit that you like, but you can wear stronger clothes underneath, but it won't be visible, but you will have the stats of those clothes. But
okay.
yeah, so like you want your character to be looking all flashy, but you underneath you have those stats of like a high armored weapon or
you got a horrible outfit.
Yeah.
Like, look at me.
Instead of having your character looking like all mixed match just because it's strong.
Man, there's so much about that game. Pan Am.
Oh God!
I had to protect her at all costs.
Queen,
Like,
bro.
You're protected at all costs.
Like probably like one of the longest side missions in the game. I do it with pride.
Oh, bet I'm there. Run it.
Like what? There can't be help. Say no more. Leave the whole city.
You know what? I'm there, fam. Got you, girl. In the middle of this mission real quick, but I'll take them out and I'll head right over.
That's it.
I'm making friends. and you be thinking like she be having like she may be having like some low level stuff, man. She be having like some big missions.
Yeah.
People like, this is what you want to do?
This is the whole, like, they can literally take her missions and put it as a game. Like, this is a lot.
Yeah.
You forget what you was doing.
Like, so we're taking this tank and we're going to run stuff. All right, bet. Like, girl, you wild.
I like it, though.
And then you realize, like, oh, yeah, you was talking about how you wanted to leave. What was it called? The city?
Night City,
because you were done with it and stuff. Yeah, man, I think they were done with you. You wild. You crazy.
You know, she was wild when y'all did the EMP to take down the ship and it wasn't going down. She was like, you know what? Just hopped out with a huge rocket launcher shot. I'm like, bro, where was that? Just put out a whole rocket launcher.
Watch this. Oh my God.
Like, what did I get myself into?
I love you.
Love
and
it.
And then she's another freaky one. Then you like make out with her like in the tank, and that was like some what was that? Another Demolition Man type thing. You're like, oh, what's happening?
Feel sorry for my female V's out there that can experience that.
Just like come out, and then she's gone. She was still in the tank. Like we did it in a tank.
Yeah, and if you play as a female V, that whole scene just gets skipped. Like,
oh, it does?
Yeah, like y'all do the sync for a little bit, and then y'all just get attacked. And like, dang.
Oh, that's lame. What would I play? I played myself. I think I gave my guy no dick.
What?
I think I took away his dick.
Oh God!
I was like, "Yeah, you're penisless now." I think I wanted to use the dildo. Like, can you use the dildo? Because everybody would talk about the dildo.
Ooh, bruh.
I was like,
the best
"I'm
one.
gonna use this dildo." Like, and it was only for a placement. Like, oh man, that's weak. I gave him like nipple things, like nipple pointers. I was weird, all over the place with my character, man. But like I'm gonna go all out.
That's it.
But oh man, I'm about to play that game again only because I started with the Corvor and the Corporal. I'm like, I want to see where this takes me. Like, I'm inside the big business.
Yeah.
Let's see how this starts.
How you have to charge that? I want to see.
So I think I left off getting like running away and like reaching the outskirts, and think that's when stuff started getting weird. And my PlayStation, that is. So either luckily I advise everybody to do this always. Like, don't put your don't put your games on the game. Well, maybe for 5, but for PlayStation 4 people, have your game running on an external hard drive.
Yeah.
Just have it smooth, because you never know when your thing's just gonna kaput itself.
That's it.
I'm like, maybe.
But like, so what would you categorize like your connection with gaming? Like, is it just a hobby or just something more to it?
I like gaming because it's a mass medium, man. You can you know how some people are like, yo, I make toy trains, and you'd be like, that's all they talk about?
Yeah.
Or I read novel books, and that's all they talk about?
Yeah.
But that's their thing, you know what I mean? Like, it's not saying nothing less or bad about it. It's like, that's their thing. That's how they get stuff from the world. That's their go-to when they relax. That's their how they get information from the world. Like, oh, I read a book about trains, and then in the same article it has something about bread. I read the bread. That's how I feel about video games, because video games could connect you. It's like a novel. It's like a music piece. It's a movie. It's all these things, and it trains you on eye-hand coordination. It's so I that's my connection. My connection with it. It's just like, it just keeps your mind young. It keeps your mind going. It keeps all the little things that you don't think about doing on the day to day. It keeps them moving. If you don't, you know that term, if you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah.
That's like everything. If you stop running for like a year and then you go back to running, you're gonna feel you're gonna be flopping around. My legs. What's wrong with my legs? Nothing. You haven't run in years. That's what happened. Or so in video games, you'll get you can utilize God of War, you can utilize Cyberpunk, and then you can utilize what's another one? Zelda. Oh, all those games, or a fighting game, Tekken, and they all have different aspects on how your brain interacts with the world as well. Like when I played Fallout 3, Fallout in 2006. What was that?
Either 3 or probably, what was it, New Vegas or something like that?
Okay, so it's definitely 3 because New Vegas came after. Okay, so one day I spent the entire day playing Fallout 3. Like, since I was obsessed with that. Like, oh my God, this is great. And I leave the house to go to make a food run because I needed substance. And we all been there. And I'm at the store, and I kid you not, like, dude, I had a HUD display of Fallout 3. And I'm in the store, and I'm looking at Snicker bars. Oh man, this had like rat in it. I can't get it. I was there. I was like, oh no, I'm done. But that's my connection. I just like, I love comic books. I can read comic books till the day I die, but video games, top notch, because there's just it takes you. It's like a book. It takes you to another universe. This is why most people like myself were like, man, when is single player games gonna make a comeback?
Yeah.
Like to be the norm, where it's like a story. They're trying to tell something, trying to introduce new gameplay. When is that? I mean, I know they're out there. God, I know they're out there. But I feel like they're not putting as much emphasis on these games. So far, the biggest headlines of single player games is that movie with that cat. I mean, that game with that cat, God of War 2 Ragnarok. There's another one. I know for a fact there's another one, and that's it. Because you can't count Gotham Knights. Gotham Knights is somewhat multiplayer.
Yeah.
So it's like, where's that at? So that's how I feel. I feel like video games for me, it's just takes me to a different world, and it's somewhere I can always go when I'm having a bad day or even a good day, and just absorb something that a team of people put into. Like for comic books, usually it's like 2 people, maybe 3, the writer and the artist, or the writer, the artist, the inker, and then or multiple writers and multiple artists. It's depending on the book.
Well, you seen that movie, Chasing Amy?
Yeah.
With the key, like, so you're just a tracer. just downplay him.
You're a tracer. No! Oh, man. I do more than that. I always wonder with the Scott Williams, who teams up with Jim Lee. I wonder does he say that a lot? Because he's more than an artist as well, but he's known for always like inking and or coloring with Jim Lee. So I was like, damn, does Scott Williams get that? Like, hey man, who are you? Oh, I'm Scott Williams. What do you do? Well, I ink. Oh, you're a tracer. I love Scott Williams. I love you, Scott. Unsung hero, really. Like, if you see some of his work that's just by itself, it's pretty fucking good. It's just like Jim Lee just got like the top promotional banner. That's all it is.
Struggles.
I respect them both. That's how I know about them both.
Yeah, but to go back a little bit, I think that's how my connection with Cyberpunk grew as well, because that was also a point in time where I was burnt out with multiplayer games. I was like, I'm just constantly playing Apex and other games. I'm like, I miss just sitting there and getting immersed into a game and a story by myself. So I got back into Cyberpunk, and that was it. Like, I was literally questioning my friend. I'm like, when's the last time y'all beat a campaign? Like, I've just been playing the same multiplayer games over and over. Like, when have y'all just actually enjoyed the story before?
That's funny you say that. Like, what did you because you said you 100%ed Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
And that includes like the Steam achievements, whatever?
Yeah.
So my question is, what's the last game you 100%ed that was a multiplayer?
Well, it's not hard to, depending on the game, it's not hard to 100% multiplayer games. Depending on what they put as their achievements. Like Apex is only like 12 achievements. And that's technically 100%.
Oh man, they've changed.
Yeah, it depends what they put in their achievements.
Like the Destiny stuff I'd be seeing, like, yo, do this campaign.
Yeah, so some other games would be all over the place.
Find the berry inside the map. And the map only appears every Sunday. Like, man, I work on Sundays. Jesus Christ.
That's when back in the 360 era, I used to get mad because I used to be, for the most part, like technically 100% out all these games, but there'd be like 2 or 3 achievements that's online only games. And I'm like, I don't have online yet. I didn't get online. I started online gaming on console until 2010. And most of these games I've been playing since 2007, 2008. I'm like, bro. So by the time I finally get online, the service is dead. I can't get these achievements.
Oh, bro. That was a big Xbox thing. Most of the achievements could not be done. There's a few people who have a certain amount of achievements, and they got lucky with those.
Yeah.
The rest are out of luck. I'm like, man, that's a thing. That would suck if you're a completionist.
Yeah.
The things that
you had to do it at that time. Or somehow cheat the system. Because now it's like, for the most part, these, like, even if the servers are dead, they probably, like, you could still probably host a private lobby and still get away with it and sneak something. But now.
Oh, in Steam?
No, I'm just like, just in general, like any multiplayer game now. But like back in 360, like, trying to find a game, and that game been dead for like 5 years.
It's gone.
Like,
well, hell, isn't the Halo server still on? The Halo 1s, the Halo 2s?
I believe they just recently closed, if I'm not mistaken. That was actually a big thing. They just recently closed those.
Man, that has to be like a cry ceremony. Everybody's tearing up.
Yeah, everybody was like, yeah, that was the end of it. Never.
Oh man, that right there started a lot of things. Like, even though as a Sony fanboy, I'm like, you gotta give credit where credit's due. If it wasn't because of Halo, a lot of these things would not be here. A lot.
Yeah.
Like we would just now be starting. It would just now be figuring, hey man, this online thing is cool, right?
That'd be terrible.
That'd be weird. That'd be terrible.
I mean, it'd be weird and terrible, but that was also my thing. Like, because I look at, I'm making the argument about how games change. Like, I look at my Xbox 360 list, like, my stack of games is like long. Then I look at my Xbox One, I'm like, I only got like 12 games here. I'm like, what the hell happened? Like, most of these games just been multiplayer games. I'm like, man, I need to get back into my, like I said, I didn't get online Xbox until 2010. I had a 360 since 2007, I want to say. So
okay.
Like, from 2007, so that's like 3 years of me just playing campaign games and loving it. To like, then like as soon as online kicked in, I'm like, I started to notice I'm buying the same franchise, Call of Duty here, Halo there, Gears of War there. Like, no,
just stuck in a, yeah. That's the thing. That's another thing. We don't even see that we got stuck into like a repetitiveness.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, this is the 18th Call of Duty. Like, and this is supposed to be the game. And if it's not Call of Duty, it's Apex. If it's not Apex, it's Fortnite. Yeah. If it's not Fortnite, it's Halo this or Destiny this. It's like, and they're pretty much all the same.
Yeah.
You know, it's just that maybe this button doesn't make you use a rocket launcher. It makes you punch.
Yeah. I hate when games do that too. Like when they change their button scheme. I'm like,
yeah, bugs me. Like, you know, just copy. Just full on copy, man. Come on.
Just copy and paste, man. Like, you gotta be pressing different buttons.
Jesus Christ, man. Like, it's not gonna make the game better just because you want to change where the button.
Like where you need game.
Like, just change the gameplay of the game. Just change the gameplay.
Change the mechanic. Don't change the button layout.
Man, like unless there's a patent things on button placements, which I doubt, because then there will only be Halo.
It's Halo and Call of Duty.
Man, that'd be a thing. There's probably not. It can't be. I know there's a patent supposedly on the PlayStation controller, which they had that lawsuit years ago about them stealing it from somebody. Mm. But other than that's why you don't see no other controllers 100% like PlayStation controllers.
Yeah,
like, because that's a phenomenal controller. It's perfect. It's like, no, it's perfect. It's right in my hand. For me, it's perfect. Yeah. Well, you see copies of it, but like,
yeah, the bootlegs.
The bootlegs of it, and for the PCs, they have like those two handles. But when Xbox One came out, it was like, we're gonna make guys like this. Why? What is this? It's our controller. It barely fits in my head. And then Xbox 360 came out. I was like, all right, it's a little bit better. You're almost there.
Yeah, well, for some people say the 360 did perfect. I mean, it was good, but I noticed that now, like, I guess as like I know the controller's smaller now in my hand.
It was durable. The Xbox 360 controller was a durable controller. I know this because my roommate always tossed the controller.
That was me too.
Across the room. And I'm just like looking at him like,
damn.
You just tossed $50.
That's money right there.
Like, bro, you get mad off these dudes that much? Calm down. Or it'd be like, because he was a big Bioshock fan, and if he couldn't be a level, he'd be like, it's like and then the batteries go flying out.
Yeah.
But it will still work. Yeah. I did that once with my PlayStation 3. I tossed it. I was mad.
It's over.
I was like, no.
You just sit there and look at your console now.
Like, what are we doing? PlayStation's horrible. I mean, PlayStation 3. Let's talk about consoles real quick.
That's
PlayStation 3 lost that round only because they tried to do something so ahead of its time. And everybody all of the developers like, what is this? This is a new cell chip. We don't know how to work on this. You should have gave us this 18 years ago. You could work. And then by the time developers started figuring how to work on it, it was too late. But with that said, PlayStation ended strong. They started off hella weak. The games were hella crappy. And then you guys won, the Xbox team won, because Xbox bought every developer for that entire phase. And I'm like, oh, you guys bought all the developers. That's why. We have no one. We have no one. But so I'm not want to say Xbox or PlayStation is better than the other. It's just who has the better. It's just for me. It's I just want the type of games that I want, and PlayStation at that time, had the most games.
Yeah, that's one thing I noticed. Xbox, even though every game had the thing, but Xbox mainly, I think it was more better for online gaming. PlayStation had more story. You get your Uncharted, your God of War, and then they ended the PS3 cycle with The Last of Us, which I bought a whole PlayStation 3 just for that game.
Yeah.
It was
out the water. Out the water with Last of Us.
Bruh.
I mean, there has never been a game that made me feel until that game. I was like, oh, bro, this is sad.
Yeah. I want to play the remake of the first one they just did, but I'm waiting for it to come out on PC.
I'll wait on that one. I played part 2, so I'll wait on the remake. There's a lot of remakes coming out, really.
Yeah.
Out there.
I don't know. You saw the Silent Hill stream. I think it was yesterday or the day before yesterday. Silent Hill had a stream. They just
I was just going to say.
Yeah. They announced a bunch.
It took me a minute to realize that was a remake. Oh wait, this is part 1. Oh, they redid it. Oh, this is going to be fun.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, it was cool for what it was, but looking back, when you go back and play, it's this is crappy.
Yeah.
The look of it anyway, it's oh, this is horrible.
I mean, some people are I don't know. Some people are, I don't know what's the word to use, but they they break it down no, the PlayStation 2 fog is the best fog, but the best way to play the game is on PC, but using a upscale mod or whatever. It's so many. Yeah, you gotta do too much stuff to get the game to look perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Listen here, sir. If the game needs to have that kind of modification,
clearly something's wrong with it.
It's not great. So what you're doing is you're holding on to nostalgia.
Yeah.
There's a game that somebody can just walk into a store pretty soon and just hey, I want that remastered Silent Hill game. Oh, here you go, $70. Bet, here you go, or whatever it's gonna cost.
God.
And they go home. And that's it. Done data. Not have to be a PC engineer. That's what despises me from PC gamers, most of them. They're well, if you do this thing right here, this, and this is yo, man, what about, you're not thinking about the casual gamer, though.
Yeah.
The person who loves video games to play them. They're good at video games. They're just not tech savvy.
Yeah, I almost lost my mind figuring out mods for Cyberpunk. It was like, cause I just wanted one thing. I just wanted to make my character look like Lucy from the anime. But to do that, I had to download like 50 mods. I'm like, bro, like it won't work unless you have this, and then that won't work unless you have this. I'm like, bro, all of this so I can have an outfit.
I just wanna do this. That's all.
I just want to wear this dress. That's it.
Was it what console was it? Xbox or PlayStation 5 talking about allowing mods to happen in their thing?
I
heard.
I know some games allowed mods on console, but I don't know how normal it is yet on whatever platform.
That would be a big. If that happened, that's a pretty big thing.
Yeah, that'd be big.
I don't. It's not going to take over PC big thing, but it's like for the person who owns the PlayStation, just want to have some fun. They already have the hardware. They just got to download to go to a download site where
that's what I say. That's where it might be tricky, because then it might be one of those. Cause I don't know if you ever like jailbroke a PlayStation or whatever console, like having to go back and forth with a USB to your computer back to the console just to put the right file back in there. So,
I was gonna say, like, what if there's like a one button?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if they know how to implement it right into the console, so you don't have to leave your console at all, then yeah, that'd be amazing.
Do some extra stuff. Take out the hardware.
Yeah.
Like your girl comes home like, babe, why is the Blaq all over the place? Oh, I'm adding mods.
Just have to play one game.
Just to play this game. Just want to
spend more time adding mods than playing the actual game. I'm like, oh god.
Like, oh, okay. Well, you lost your mind. You know, $500, right? Are you tech savvy? Not at the least.
To follow this YouTube tutorial.
Oh my god! That's the worst thing to say. Follow your YouTube video. Oh my god,
that was me when I first built my PC. I made a whole PC building playlist of like 5 videos just to make sure I got every part right. I was there for like half a day just building my PC.
This is like, I pause here. All right, you said that. Okay, all right, cool. Did that step. All right. And then sometimes it happens. You miss this step. Like, wait, what?
Oh, I was pulling my hair out during that. Like, there was so much. At first, it wasn't booting up. I'm like, what happened? Like, no, you gotta put this in. Oh, I didn't snap it in. All right, did I go in? They were like, oh, now you gotta go into your BIOS. I'm like, and then the problem with mine thing, when I first got my the old motherboard I had was, I guess, a very older one where the BIOS wasn't as accessible online to look for like if something is wrong. So I'm like, the amount of times I was just going on forums and stuff looking for like, yo, why can't I boot it up? Like, you gotta connect your motherboard with your, it has to recognize your hard drive or whatever. And it's like, why didn't it just do that by default? Like, why do I have to go into here and make sure, like, yes, this is my hard drive. Start it up from there. Yeah, like, but now I know how to build it. It's like, yeah, it's fun now. But that first build is pain.
Yeah, I got a PC tower and a guts inside of it as well that my girl didn't want no more. I'm looking at it like, oh yeah, I could work with this. as a former PC tech, I'm like, I'm looking at the motherboard. I'm like, the motherboard is the most important part. I'm like, oh crap, it has 2 graphic card slots.
Oh yeah.
Bet I'm good. And then I'm looking at a AMD big ass CPU. Like, I'm just looking at all kinds of stuff. Like, yo, this I can work with this. It already has like some of the stuff in it. So right now I gotta boot it up and see what's what. If it has everything that I need, I'm gonna turn this to a streaming tower.
That's it.
I need a streaming tower. Like, Because just like you know, I'm trying to get more and more, do more and more streams and stuff like that.
Yeah, I need to get
My
back into streaming
laptop is good for
myself.
us. Well, good. Yeah, man. You have to reach.
I'm trying to upgrade my GPU. I had this GPU since I built my PC. I upgraded everything, but it's like about time.
It's still working.
It still works, but it's like you can feel that it's like getting it's heating up now on certain games. I'm like, all right. Like, hold on, but I got the something as slow as I can. Nah, bro, that's too much.
That fan has been blowing.
I'm like, damn.
What are you loading?
This is not the same games we were playing years ago.
Like, I am a 18 gig game.
Like, damn.
It was like the intro alone. Like, that's when I realized when I used to PC game, that the strength of my PC, like, when I used to play Galactic Civilizations Part 2, I was like, oh man, this game is nice. It will play smooth. But the deeper you got, the more stuff is getting into the game. It will start slowing down. Like, this is not like a console. It's not like a PlayStation or an Xbox or whatever. This thing's the guts inside of a PC. It needs to, be able to run video games. Yeah. Most when I got this laptop because I needed it for video editing, and it was going to be it was either this or Apple. Apple wanted 2,800. I got this for 1,500. Same specs.
That's it.
So I was like, yeah. Anyway.
But yeah, I mean, noticing from like your TikToks and our conversations, like seeing that you're so diverse into different things, like what was your journey to make you want to say, oh, I want to be interested in this and that and this and that? Like, you didn't just stick to like probably two things in your life or whatever.
Oh, you talk about in general, or just
like how you go from comics, books, to movies, games, to like all the stuff that you're into. Like, what made you want to branch out so far and explore so much stuff?
Because there's like so much to explore. You know, the thing that makes my pet peeve when it comes to things that we're trying to do, things that we're doing right now, like things like us and other people like us.
Yeah.
You know, my pet peeve is you need to build a niche. You need to focus on one thing. And I'm like, what if I don't like one thing?
Oh my God.
One thing.
I think that's I think that's my thing. I guess I have, not to relationships, but I guess to other things in my life, I have commitment issues. Like the idea of just doing one thing only. I'm like, yeah. And my dad, like when I was younger, like always, like that was one of his lectures to me. Like, you used to be so good at this, and then you just stopped. And I'm like, I don't want to just do that. Like so much I want to do. Like, I don't want to just do one thing forever, bro. That sounds terrifying.
It feels like hell.
I need to explore.
And then like it comes to a point, like, say for example, if I'm doing comic books on every TikTok, on every YouTube, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'll get bored.
Yeah.
I love comic books. I'm a comic book reader. I can hang with people who have more knowledge than I do about comic books and be like, and tell them when they're wrong about something, like, or like, nah, man, this ain't gonna happen because of this. But when it comes to like talking about it, like, I want to talk about something else. Hey man, did you guys hear about that thing they shot in space at that asteroid? That seems to be talk. I want to talk about magic, but to give you a clear cut, like, yo, this is what I was thinking process. My mind was like, okay, I want to talk about everything, and I know for a fact in the business world, they want you to have a niche.
Yeah.
So if I want to grow my brand, I gotta find a niche. But I like everything.
Yeah, like
what could be my niche?
Can you describe what you do?
I have an idea. Like, I'm just going to intersect everything that I like in the nerddom column. So I'm gonna find the relationship between an asteroid being shot in space, and then segue into like, remember when Spider-Man was on that ship in space? Like, maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't, but it'll be things that I see, and then I'll be like, this is like similar. Like, for example, earlier when we was talking about Demolition Man. That's Demolition Man. That's a movie. That's a pop culture. That's a film. And then I was like, man, that's like, hey man, did you see that news about people talking about Seinfeld and how millennials are like, they're like softer now because they can't take messed up jokes or something? Like, that's Demolition Man.
That's it.
And then what you get people who are seeing something from a different perspective, rather than having somebody just preach to them like, yo man, you need to man up, you need to toughen up, you're being too soft. I'm like, I'd rather just say, hey man, we're all, oh my god, we're headed towards our timeline. I don't care about them whining about something, because you know what, it's not me, it doesn't affect me. I'm still gonna watch Seinfeld. I believe you can't cancel a thing. You can't cancel a human. That's like saying you're gonna kill a person.
Yeah, like you basically, I killed you in my head.
Yeah,
like,
you know what that is? Here's another way how I like to merge things, because this is adding to your question. Canceling is something. It's like how they, I'm not sure if you caught up, but you probably heard it in a forum somewhere or a video somewhere, when they put Sabretooth in the ground in the Quiet Council and in the X-Men, they banished him from life or whatever. He's not dead. He's just like in the nothing because Sabretooth was just being Sabretooth, doing Sabretooth stuff. And the council, the mutant council, the ones that's established on Kokora, they was like, yo, we can't mess with that. We're going to banish you. And Sabretooth was like, you're going to banish me? You guys are hypocrites. You're doing this over here. Magneto, I've seen you do things. Xavier, you've been invading people's mind. Remember the onslaught thing you did? And yet, because I'm just a little crazier and a little open with it, I get put in a blackness. They're like, all right, bet. Now, I'm told there's a storyline. If it's out or not, I'm not sure. But apparently, they're supposed to talk about the Sabretooth stuff now, because it's been a while. It's been at least 5-6 years. So we're like, yo, what's Sabretooth? What's happening with Sabretooth? So that's how I like to talk about things in the all, because everything's connected. So I found my medium by just using things that I know and love, comic books, video games, movies, and using that to talk about life.
Yeah, that's it. Cause that's one thing that's like, it's hard for me. Like, it's not hard, but it's like just the idea of like, you know, if I explain my podcast, like, oh, what you guys saw, I mean, talk about like what we just talked about here, but at the same time, I also like to talk about mental health stuff as well. Like, how can I tell you that? Yeah, I like to talk about depression, mental health, but at the same time, I like video games, anime. I talk about all of that. Like, just put into my whole one lane.
You just do it, and then what it is another thing what I'm doing, because I don't mind sharing these things, because like it's gonna help somebody down the road. Like there's a lot of other cats on TikTok, like King Lion and Straw Hat Goose and Jay Spooks. They put out content like crazy. Or at least from what I see, unless you go to your page, then you get a sense of how much content they have. But for me, it's like you're almost seeing like 18 contents a day from it if you're on TikTok all day, whatever. Like sometimes I am. when I'm doing Instacart, I'm like, I mean, my car is just like strolling, like waiting for the next ring. But they put out tons of content. So when I was like, man, I'm not trying to compete with them, but I would like to at least put out the same amount of content that they are putting out in the terms of abundance, right? But like, how can I do that? So I was like, you know what? What if I just record a whole bunch of stuff, and then every so often on the other side of it, I just record every so often some stuff that may be easier to post. So I got a lot of stuff, and I try not to make that stuff dated. So when I put it out, it's not like super late.
Yeah.
Like, hey man, that's late. So I try to talk about things that are like just in my brain, and things that are like, again, like I said, relatable to like comic books and movies and things like that. Or I talk about the comic books themselves. So I just record. So if I was to tell anybody, I was like, man, just record. Like whenever you get done doing your adult life stuff, you go into your office or whatever, you have your stuff set up, and just push that record button and just do what you do, right? Yeah. And then just start recording yourself. And what's gonna happen? You might just have a nice session of you just talking about some random stuff that no one else is thinking about. Now you got to record it though. Now you can use that. Now you can use that for content, whatever. And that'd be some stuff. It's usually the stuff that just flies off your head that's the most influential, because it's like that's the most emotional. It's the most real. Like I try to like watch movie reviews or comic book reviews or anything. I'm not reviews. Trailers. Like, that trailer's out, and I would like to watch it while recording myself. I know that's not new. Other people do it too, but I find that to be dope. I like it because I get my rawest reaction, my rawest emotion, because people love emotion.
Yeah.
Because if they see that you're happy with it, at the very least, they may not like that movie or what they saw, but hey man, that guy really liked that movie. Maybe I should like give it a shot. Maybe he saw something that I didn't see.
Yeah, I always like watching, like seeing how other people perceive certain things. That like if I enjoy it and someone else enjoy it, but they found something that they enjoyed that I didn't get catch, I'm like, so like I like watching. Yeah. So like I like seeing other people's perspective on things as well. Yeah, that's what bothers me about the hate culture that's happening, because for me it seems like there's no longer just you know what, I didn't like that, it was horrible. Even if they were really enraged by it, it doesn't even feel like that no more. It just feels like you're just mad so you can get views. You're just because it's easier to throw an anger emotion at anything. Anger is better it's easier to throw anger at something than there is to either be content or to be really happy about something. Yeah. So so people respond easier to hate. People just like that drama.
We love the drama. When you see an accident on the road, you don't not look. You don't turn your head like, I don't want to see it. No, you're looking like, oh man, what happened there?
Damn.
Like, oh my God. We turn on the news. We're on the feeds 24/7. Mostly looking for something bad.
Mostly looking for something bad.
Most people post people who post memes about, when a meme says like, I'm such a loser, this is my life, look at me laugh. I'm like, yo, maybe you should stop posting that meme or memes like that. You're making it worse for yourself. I'm just an asshole. This is who I am. Like, but then again, to be a true Grady Jedi like I am, it could be they are actually saying who they are.
Yeah.
That's the thing. This isn't. I reached the age in which I look at everything like, okay, Yeah, you hate it. Probably don't hate it. Maybe you love it. I look at all aspects. It's just that I'm just like, I can easily spot it now. Like, yeah, I don't think you actually hate it. Yeah, I can tell you actually love it. You're copying somebody else. That's cool, but hey, you're dead on copying them. You're not even trying. Like Vanilla Ice. Vanilla Ice. Oh, Vanilla. I never forget that video.
When he was trying to explain the difference.
Like, bro. That's the same thing. Oh my god. Like, just say you copied it. It's way better. It's way better. I was influenced by it, so I copied it. I thought I could make a little twist to it. Stanley Kubrick says that about his films. You're like, there's a thing that a book or a movie or something that I saw that there's a small part that I could take to make better. Okay, you admitted it. You admit that, yeah, there's something in that I can make better. It's not like I came up with this idea myself. That's why Stanley Kubrick is one of the best movie directors of all time. I can go on about movies too, but we may have to end this pretty soon.
Yeah, we could. I mean, we kind of talked about just about everything I had.
Man, we could do this again though.
Yeah, hey, anytime.
Man, I'm glad to be on. I'm glad you brought me on, man.
Yeah,
thank you.
I was on your platform. I was like, get you over here too.
I see what you be doing on Talk.
Yeah, I'm trying to break down my stuff. I want to talk about, like I said, you're finding your niche. Like, I want to talk about so much, but it's just like, I don't want people to be confused on what my page is if they follow me. Like, oh, first he's talking about whatever on my podcast, and then next thing I'm posting Cyberpunk gameplay videos, and next, I might post something about anime. Like, just be all over the place.
You know what I say? You know what I should say? I would say this. Try to find a way to give it segments, because you gotta look at TikTok like this. And this is what I'm noticing. I noticed this on this one TikToker's platform, and I forgot her name. I wish I could give her a shout out. And the best way I could describe her TikTok, which was dope, it was set up like she was doing a news anchor type thing, in which she had like this laptop in front of her and a desk, and she had like some tickers behind her, and the tickers were like the subject that she's talking about at the previous moment, or the moment now, and then like upcoming topics that she's going to talk about. I thought that was dope. I was like, man, that's a good idea. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do mine like that. I'm gonna break my niches, my topics into segments. So you have Cypher's Mind. Cypher's Mind is pretty much things that like I said before, things that I talk about that I try to find the interjects between pop culture, comic books, and that nature, and reflections upon life, right? So that's Cypher's Mind. And so you have Mutantness Arcade, which is what it is. It's like you go to an arcade, it's about video games only. Whether it's old school stuff, new school stuff, VR stuff, which I'm going to be posting soon. Whether it's just a review or the trailer or a reaction, it's all video games. Then you have Forgotten Books. That's pretty much the same as arcade. It's just with books, comic books, whatever, what have you. And then you have the Danger Room, which you was on. Yeah, that's pretty much all this stuff with actual human beings, in which we go back and forth with mentals, seeing different views upon things like you would in real life. You know, you need interaction. It's a multiplayer, if you will. So that's how I broke it down. I broke it down into segments. So I gave them names. That way people can associate them, what's happening with the name. You feel me? At least on the TikTok format. When it comes to posting it on like audio, I would probably have to like name that different or not. I'm not sure. Haven't got that right yet. I haven't posted a lot on audio yet. I need to. Slacking. I'm just doing more visual TikTok and YouTubes and Odyssey, Theta, Twitter. Shoot. All the places I'm trying to be at, really.
Yeah. I've just been mainly doing my audio, TikTok, and YouTube for the most part.
What do you use for when you post your audio? What's it called? What's it called? What do you use?
What you mean?
Like when you post your audio, what platform do you post your audio on?
I use the site I use is Red Circle.
Red Circle. How do you like it?
It's I was originally using Anchor, and when I swapped over, I noticed that I was getting more plays. I guess more. I don't know if there's a difference with how they distribute it, but I was noticing people are like watching my videos more sooner than before. Like,
right,
certain views I would get on Anchor would be like a month. I would get like a certain amount of views, but over here I'll get those same amount of views within like a week, probably. So, yeah. But I got to the point where I'm going to like not try to keep worrying about my views, because I still want to like figure out how to build like, I guess, a brand for myself, so that
that's smart.
Yeah, I want to figure out how to I want to interact with people more, I guess.
Don't worry about your views.
Yeah.
Only thing you need to worry about is two things: context and how you post your videos, the name. When it comes, for example, if you're sticking strictly for audio, context would be how you word your titles of your podcast, and then the second thing would be straight up hashtags, the appropriate hashtags.
Yeah,
those are the only those are things that helped me. So focusing on that, like I use this as posts, like, you don't post this, people will come see it. It's funny. It has Spider-Man in it. It's funny. But then you're not building a brand, like you said.
Yeah.
So I have to like really discover what I wanted to post. I was like, I want people to know about comic books, video games, and all that stuff. But I also want them to see that it's all connected to the world that we live in, because that's how art is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. So I guess, like, what do you convey? Like, what's? I guess the question becomes like, what is your thing that you want to say to the world? Like, what are you trying to get people to know? What are you trying to get people to see? Like, you like everything, but in all those everythings, there's always there's something that connects.
For the most part, with my podcast specifically, I want to let people know that they aren't alone, and whether, like, you know, if they like different things, or they know, if I'm talking about mental health, if they're going through things, because, you know, I went through those things, or I like it's like having a voice of someone that I wish I had in my life. So I want to help people know that there are people that are like you, that's out there in the world. You're not alone. And hopefully, like, you know, my podcast is attracting those people.
Pretty sure it is, man.
Yeah.
If you build it, they come. Build it, they come, man.
That's it.
Tag your stuff to the right people. Especially when I'm not sure how you're doing on TikTok, but if you're like typing in searches of what your topic is for that particular post.
Yeah.
Like type in that, and then like look for those keywords that like resonate with your post and use those as hashtags.
Yeah.
And you'll get there, bro. Because it's abundance, and everybody has a tribe.
That's it.
Everyone. It's just that, you know, some people don't want to look for it, or some people just too afraid to find their tribe.
Yeah.
I mean, you can still be a solo wizard and still have a coven or a group of magicians with you.
Goals. But yeah,
like,
man.
even what Iron Man was solo. Then he joins the Avengers.
Yeah, the Avengers. despite being told they didn't even want him at first. Like, I'm still gonna help.
Yeah. Like in the books, man, Captain America was like, nah, we are not having Wolverine as an Avenger. That guy's a serial killer. It kills, and then like he got vetoed out, and then like they had to talk, and then like Wolverine proved himself. He's like, and then Steve Rogers keep on forgetting, like people keep on forgetting, like Steve Rogers is a soldier. He's killed people.
Yeah, they didn't really
like.
I mean, they kind of showed it with the montage in the first movie, but still, like, that's like the only time you see him actually, I guess, fighting normal people. After that, just been super people for the most part.
All he does. Before we cut out, man, I was always disdained about Captain America. Like, man, Captain America sucks,
bro. I didn't like his design in Marvel's Capcom, so that's why I was never interested in him. And then when the MCU finally rolled around, I'm like, I'm not watching it. Like when the MCU came out, I only seen Hulk. I did not know they was all connected. I only seen Hulk, and then Avengers happened. I'm like, wait, what?
Oh, bro, you missed the biggest pop in the MCU history for Iron Man.
I knew that the movie. I seen Hulk and I seen Iron Man 2, and that was it. And then I went straight to Avengers.
You saw Iron Man 1 though, right?
I did not. And timeline wise, no, I did not.
Oh, you was the biggest pop. There has not been a pop. We're making the Avengers. What?
I did not see that. I only seen the when he came at the end, and Hulk, and he was like, "Yeah, we're making a team." He was like, "Who's we?" And he just stares at him like, "Oh."
So you got that kind of pop.
Yeah.
So okay, you got man.
But I still didn't understand that I didn't understand that they were doing like a whole thing because I didn't watch Captain America. Yes, I didn't know who was gonna be in the team. All I know was Iron Man and Hulk. And then when you got to the Avengers, it was a whole different person playing Hulk. I was like, it's just the same Hulk. Because I didn't know if this Hulk was the same Hulk as the 2003 movie. So like, yeah, they already changed him the first time. So like, I don't even know what's going on with this. So that's why they.
In my opinion, a better choice. Rufio, whatever his name is. My opinion, because he has it.
Yeah.
Now, what's his face? I forgot his name.
Norton.
Norton was he was good as well, but along with that cast of people that's in the MCU, like, yeah, he just fits. he just perfectly fits in. I don't know why, but yeah, man, those first 10 years, bro, those first 5 years, that was just like, whew. Like I know the exact theater I was in when I found out that Avengers was going to be a thing. It was like Iron Man 1. I was like, yo, this is happening. What? And everybody in the crowd, everybody in the audience was just looking at each other. We're just like, what? And then the people who didn't know, they just thought they was in a comic book movie. Just watching. They're like, what's happening? Everybody, see the Avengers. The Avengers are like a big team, and they got together, and they're doing stuff. They fight villains, and this is huge. This has never happened before. All heroes are going to be in the same movie. What's happening? Is this life?
That was it. I think the closest we got, I don't know if you heard about this, the closest we got to, I guess, some kind of crossover was actually the second Spider-Man, where I don't know what year it was, but that Punisher at the time, his character like had a small cameo in that movie.
Oh man, that's a supposed rumor.
Yeah, I mean he's there, but it's not confirmed if he's Frank Castle in that. No, so we don't know.
No, they said that that's not him. He said that's not him. I could have sworn he said that's not him.
So he looks just like him. So,
yeah, they said that's somebody who looks just like him.
Damn. So I don't know.
That was a. I mean, I know exactly what you're talking about. It was when him and Mary Jane was running.
Yeah.
And she was in a wedding ground. Yeah. I was like, oh man, because everybody was looking at that scene like, what, the Punisher? But then he denied it. Thomas Jane, and then it became just a thing. But who knows, man?
Yeah.
Years from now, they can erase that data of Thomas Jane saying that wasn't him, and then input Thomas Jane's face in there, make it clearer.
I mean, since multiverse happened,
give him an actual skull.
Since the multiverse happened, it could have been him now.
That's the most beautiful thing about the multiverse. Anything and everything can happen.
That's it.
On the table now. Like in the DC bread and butter is the multiverse. They've had more multiverse runs than most comic book companies, and yet they suck when it comes to the movies. They stare. I'm like, how do you fail?
I was never into DC, but yeah.
How do you drop the ball? Darkseid is better than Thanos. How? He got hit with an axe and was carried back into a ship. He was crying. Thanos had an axe in his chest and told the world, "You should have aimed for the head." I was like, like, miss me with that.
I'm already hearing mixed reviews about the Black Adam that came out or is coming out.
So am I. It's either or. I'm still gonna see it. I'm a Rock fan. So, like, it's the Rock is Black Adam. Come on.
I mean, yeah, that was like a fan casting for the longest too. So
yeah. He manifested this. It's like, I gotta see this.
Yeah. I wanted like, damn, like people who fan casted in if it wasn't something that they enjoyed. I'm like, damn, like, yeah, I wanted this for so long, and like, yeah, maybe we was wrong.
Careful what we wish for. But no, I think it's just people. That's another thing. People have gotten so much. Now we're just crying about everything. Like, oh, we're getting everything. I want more. It's like, give him out the cookie thing.
That's it.
Out the cookie, he wants more. Wants milk. Anyway, well, I'm thank you for having me on, brother. It's been real.
It was a pleasure, definitely.
So next time, whenever you're ready, man, just let me know. I'll be on.
Yes, sir.
I'm just gonna start doing more Danger Room shows of myself actually too. So be on the lookout. Be ready.
Hey.
I might do a 4-person panel now. Ooh. Now that I can find ways to stream. Yeah, get some more heads in there. I want some more stuff. I want like actual Danger Room. I want people to just go at it. And not like an anger. I want that vibe. Like, watch, we'll see. You'll see.
Look forward to it.
Look forward.
That's it. All right, guys. You guys enjoy this. As always, share this, rate, all that goodness. And till next time, hope you guys have a great day, a great week. And yeah, peace.
Deuces.